Look at this hot camera right here. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Sorry for all the pregame chatter. Hopefully we didn't offend any Swedish chefs in the audience. If we did, just send a message to Dave and he'll send you $5. Thank you for joining us. We are here tonight doing Shadesong Winter Thrice, part 3 of 5. We're already reaching that midway point where all sorts of terrible things usually happen. I have, as usual, a fantastic brochette of players, including a very special guest tonight, whose voice is bound to leave you either trembling in fear or wanting more. You know, this is how we roll. Let's meet my friends here. Let's meet my lovely friends. They're all better looking than me, so let's put their faces up on there. Hey. What's up, y'all?
Hello.
How's everyone doing?
Cello.
Super happy to have you all here again. Super happy to be diving into this. Like, I have not been looking forward. This is the game I've been looking forward to the most, like, in a long while. Like, I'm really into this thing. So you guys are so amazing in it, and it's been absolutely a lot of fun. So let's keep that ball, as they say, rolling. Like you to introduce yourselves. Tell us who you are, what's going on, say hi to people, tell us a little bit about who you're playing, and we will start with the inimitable Beth tonight. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm very nervous to see what you're going to do to us.
Why? When have I ever done anything,
Never.
not cool? Okay, yeah, most of the
cool.
time,
It's all cool.
Yeah. It's all cool. It's all cool. It's all cool in school, gang.
This is true.
What's up with you?
Little this, little of that. You can find me here on Thursdays. I'm doing this. You can probably catch me, here on Mondays too. I believe the VOD for the Humblewood twofer that we had a couple weeks ago is now live. So check that out if you're so inclined.
Yeah,
I'm on the socials at Beth Masco. And yeah, I'm just really stoked. Oh, my character, I'm playing 80s, the Bard. She's not currently in mortal danger, unlike perhaps a couple of our characters. So we'll see what happens.
The moral of this story, learn how to read.
Yeah.
Like, especially old ancient languages that no longer exist. Those are the most important one. To master. Thank you so much, Beth, for being back here. Yes, Humblewood was amazing. You did an amazing job with it. Look forward to seeing what you do next. We'll be watching right here on Guild Superior. Next up, we have Shelly, the Shellster, who last night caused the TPK among our party. No, that's not what happened?
Nope. Just that's all I'm going to say. Nope. And also, Munchie for president, of course.
Munchie for president.
I'll be making buttons and selling them somewhere soon.
Etsy, that stuff.
Yeah, I'll Etsy that campaign merchandise.
Swag. We call it swag.
The swag. Yeah.
The swag. What's going on with you, Shelly? Aside from, Munchie.
Not too much, just here every Thursday night for a little while, playing this cool game on the socials as Real Flea Monkey. You can see things that I might be doing or also things I might not be doing because I'm not on there too much, but there's links. So,
click on them. Click on them.
Tonight I play Gudrid, who does know how to read, mostly. Maybe just not all the words or the meanings entirely, but reading is something she can do. It is something she can do.
Oh, no.
It's happening.
Oh,
yes.
Hold back.
Okay.
You have my vote.
So anyway,
Shelly, do it.
Gudrid is a Void Yontelbairn hunter. She is pretty rough around the edges, not super fun to be around always, but she means well, mostly. And her best friend is along with on the trip, which makes going to this place a little better.
Yes. Maybe you can learn some new mead recipes or something.
Yeah, we're taking notes.
A mead from the afterlife. That'd be a thing. Good enough to bring back the dead. There
Marketing
you go.
slogan right there.
Marketing
That is.
slogan right there.
I'm writing it down.
Speaking of good enough to bring back the dead,
I don't know what the hell that means.
the Scoos. Sub Scoozy.
Hello. Hi, everybody. I'm Scoozy. You can call me Scoozy. You can find me on the Twitter at Scoozy News, but you can mostly find me hanging out in the Superior Adventures Guild Discord channel. And here on Thursday nights until one of my characters breaks something, and then I'll probably not be welcome back, and then we'll see what happens.
If that was the case, we'd be well past that point. Who are you playing tonight? Tell us a little bit about
I am
Pirate.
playing an incredibly intelligent Titan who can also read and cautiously respects his surroundings.
We'll just leave it at that, and we'll let the irony sort itself out. No comeback. Well, when you stop.
No, I'm just that's where I wanted to leave it. Yeah.
All right, cool. That's where you left it. That's where you're leaving it. Speaking of leaving it, I don't know what that means. That's just whatever. It's a thing. I would never leave Dave. I would cling to Dave. I would cling.
Oh.
They don't call me Siren Rap for nothing. What's up, Dungeon Dave?
Hey.
Bad Albert.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Dave. I play games, produce games, and run games here with my friends, and I'm getting to play in this wonderful game. So big shout out to Bleak for pulling me in on some more Shadesong. I'm loving it. This Dragonbane system is really fun too. So I'm playing a Titan sorcerer named Agos, who is an old, I would go as far as say kind of an elderly chap who is probably not the most capable physically, but has a lot of willpower and can cast some pretty badass magic. So look out, because he's coming for you.
Does he have any willpower left right now?
He has 2 points of willpower because I used my my crystal from the Lost Thane's Crown to regain a couple of extra points there at the end. I also have a condition. I am currently slightly disheartened, guys.
Yeah, that happens in my games.
Yeah,
it's my modus operandi. Speaking of modus operandi, super happy to have you here, Dave. I am the Sultan of Segway. Hey, we have a very special guest with us here tonight, returning from a further adventures from his glorious past here in the afterlife. Still, this guy just can't catch a break and just can't get a living character in my games. I guess that's going to become a running thing. But we have Michael, Insomnia Knight. How you doing, man? What's going on?
Doing great. Glad to be back. Glad to be playing First Fallen again, and creeping some of you out with the voice, and just having a good time and seeing what weird things you guys have done in my another afterlife that I've crawled my way into. Yeah.
It's always in the afterlife, man.
It can just work. We can make it work.
That could be your thing. Like, that's your thing, your place. That's where you are.
I like it. I'm just happy to be back.
Yeah, cool, man. I'm super happy to have you here too. Can you tell us a little bit about First Fallen?
First Fallen, very tall, Juten, blue. Not the smartest, not the. He's just the first one to die in this world of Shadesong. He was murdered, and we learned a lot about him last time he was here. He had some feelings about things. He had some thoughts about things. He decided that he should stay behind and kind of screw up Bleak's plans, and he stayed behind. Another layer of I forget what it was called exactly, but
it was Kursetu. Yeah, it was basically purgatory. It was the bad place.
Yeah, it was the bad version of it. Yeah, and he stayed behind to let Shade go forward, and Elthwyn and his sister, and
we saw later on that Elthwyn had kept his promise to you and had taken your bones back to Yggdrasil and the Jotunland. So you managed to somehow find your way here, because now your bones are resting where they should be.
Yeah.
See
It'll
how
be
things
interesting.
work out. Things work out
Will.
all the time. Hey man, super happy to have you back. Super happy to have the voice back. I'm probably just gonna have you like read Milton's Paradise Lost to me in that voice. I'll record and I'll just go to sleep with it at night.
Oh, God.
Awesome players. I'm looking forward to get into this. We will do that momentarily. A couple of shout outs I got to give out before we return to you guys. First, I'm Bleakseason. I am at the Bleakseason on the Twitterinos. You can find me there. You can find me here. Doing all sorts of stuff. Vason next Sunday. Also, Heroes of Greyhawk next Tuesday, where we slowly depopulating the fauna of Greyhawk, because we're the exterminators, and I think that name's going to stick. I would like to give a shout out to my producer Andy, without whom this would never happen. He's in the back there pushing the buttons and sliding the sliders and telling us to go a little 5% more, a little 5% less, a smidge here, smidge there. Thanks so much, Andy, for your help. Shout out to Tabletop Audio. The wonderful dulcet tones and music that you're hearing right now come from Tabletop Audio. They have tons of great stuff, including a lot of free stuff. You don't even have to pay for the Patreon. They have tons of free stuff on their website. If you need some tunes for your game, whether streaming or at home, check them out. They're excellent. Big shout out to also everyone at Guild Superior, the other producers here, working behind the scenes, Miko, the OKGM, and Ashley, Minnesota Muse. Everyone who's in the chat, everyone who's in the Discord, everyone who shows up to these things, everyone who plays. It's always tons of fun. We have some of the best people around. And so big shout out to all of you. The Shadesong logo was designed by Mr. Creep. And finally, we use the Dragonbane system in Shadesong, which is made by Free League Publications, Free League Publishing, I think it is. And the Dragonbane system is not out yet. We're using a PDF from the for early backers on a Kickstarter. It's coming out soon. Should definitely check it out. It's got a really nice old school kind of vibe, along with some of that Free League system action going on, and we're having a good time with it. With all that said, let us dive into this little story that we have here. Brief recap. Last game, the heroes traveled to Yggdrasil, where they met the three Norns, who told them that in order to find answers as to who the Green Warrior was and why he was back, because he was supposed to be dead, they had to travel to Kvitraven, which is basically the Valhalla, or the afterlife of the Jotun. They traveled there by boat, and upon arriving, found that everyone in the land was under some sort of sleeping spell or sickness. Everyone had kind of fallen asleep where they were. They traveled further inland, discovered this giant monolith where a Frost Jotun was controlling it with the crown. They killed the Frost Jotun, a bunch of Draugr. They realized that this monolith had fallen from the sky at some point, and it had breached the ground and opened up this crypt. After felling the Frost Jotun, the Aegos found a crown, which he put on his head, and wearing that crown, realized that he could control the monolith to a certain degree and started powering it down, but realized there was some sort of elemental trapped inside, perhaps a time elemental, that was prisoner and that was begging to be rescued. And while Aegos was doing this, Gudrid and Byron were in the crypt, where after a little mishap with reading material, they started touching things. And, well, we'll see what happens with all that touching that's going on in that cave. But before we get to that, before we get to the cave, and before we get back to the
Touch.
the bad touch, before we get back to the cave, before we get back to the monolith, we open up tonight in the little town that surrounds Votan's Hall. Votan, who is the god here and who presides over these lands, this sort of afterlife for the Jotun and the warriors, the Jotun warriors who die, or the Jotuns or Jotun barons or titans who die bravely and in combat, get to come here and feast and party down in Votan's Hall. The others who come here who did not die in combat, or at least with a sword in their hand, get to populate a little village around there. And it's a nice little community, very tidy. It's kind of like a retirement community in some ways. People just, live a life of leisure, basically, with their families. And, as people in their families die, they find themselves here, and then they just live eternally together. And it's just a really nice place to be, except that everyone had fallen asleep. And you, First Fallen, who arrived here, when last we met, First Fallen was some 10 years ago in Kursetu, where you had helped Shadesong and Oathwind and Jadewind escape from Kursetu, which is a sort of purgatory. And you were trapped out there because you had, unfortunately, been killed in a way that wasn't intended. You had been killed by Shadesong, the first person to die on Eld, and you had found yourself trapped in Penumbra. And by helping the three of them escape, you had condemned yourself to staying behind. However, you made Oathwind swear an oath to get your sword back and to give your body the proper burial. And after the events of the very last episode of Shadesong, the first season, Oathwind did just that. He took your body back to Yggdrasil, where we saw it last week, lying there in the middle of Yggdrasil with the Norns, properly sort of taken care of. And so your spirit eventually was allowed to move on from where you were caught, and you arrived in this little village where you found, because you had been dead for thousands of years, you found your extended family already here waiting for you. There was very joyful reunion. You found your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, your great-great-grandchildren, your great-great-great-grandchildren, and so on down the line. And you've been living, nice little life of sort of a leisurely retirement down here in the village, finally back with your family and sort of where you belong. And then the sleeping sickness came. And during the sleeping sickness, you felt that you were asleep and that there was a long time passing, but you didn't really feel the hours, so that it didn't have like a very negative impact. It's almost like you went to sleep and you know that you slept for several months, possibly a year or more, but you didn't feel that time go by. And so this morning, something happened that changed, and you and your family and everyone around you started kind of waking up, and it was just sort of like everyone just kept doing what they were doing when they fell asleep, except then they stopped and realized, what's been going on, and dusted themselves off. And after a while, hugging your family and sort of making sure everyone was all right, and sort of wondering what's going on, what's been happening. You have with you an item that you've been carrying for quite some time, in fact, since you were in Kursetu, and you don't give it much thought, except that as you awoke this morning, you felt something very distantly through whatever it is that sort of awoke you and everybody else. You felt kind of a little ping going on, and it made you think, it reminded you of this item that you have. Back in the day when you were in Kursetu, it was like a flame, but now here it's a crystal. And you go and you dig it out wherever you have. You've probably got it buried somewhere, and you sort of dig it out. And as you pull it out, you kind of feel almost like it's being pulled towards something, and you can feel that it's sort of vibrating, almost as if it's calling or talking to something, and something's answering back. And you find yourself now, as we open, standing on the Palisades, on the walkway of the Palisades surrounding the town, and holding this in your hand and looking out across the tundra into the snow-covered forest beyond, where you can see this giant monolith of quartz or crystal or something that fell from the sky a little while back, that no one could ever really make heads or tails of. And you're staring at it, and you can see that it looks different. The colors have changed. It looks darker and kind of dull. And your crystal thing is kind of pulling you to that, and you're sort of sitting there wondering what you're going to do with that. And you hear a voice behind you. I see you've awoken also. I think that makes pretty much everyone now. Is your family okay? And as you turn, you see standing by you Votan himself, the lord of this town. have a picture on Owlbear Rodeo if you would like to see. Is your family okay, First Fallen?
Everyone's been accounted for. They all seem normal enough with what's been going on.
I've had men going through the village. It seems that no one's suffered from this. We just slept for a while. It was very strange, but he looks to where you're looking. Are you seeing something? You seem sort of absorbed there.
I'll hold up my hand and I brought something here from where I was, and it's pulsing towards that. And I'll point towards the monolith.
He'll approach you and take a look at what you have in your hand and say, It seems made of different material and certainly with different color, but I don't know. How would it be tied to that? Is it possible it came from the same place? You have no clue, I assume. I'm asking you these questions, but I realize you're probably just as confused as I am by it.
I've been through many forms of the afterlife. I wouldn't be surprised at this point if they are part of the same.
Would you care to go and take a look?
Oh.
It seems that this thing, whatever it is, has changed since we fell asleep. Have you met Thirfing? And he sort of gestures over to the side, and you see coming towards you another person that you met briefly, perhaps once or twice in the past little while, but he's not a Jotun, he's an elf from Elfheim. And he came here some time ago to study this monolith, but nothing had ever really come of it. And as he approaches, he's like, well, I don't think I'm going to need to sleep for another 1,000 years after that one. That was a little strange. I had cobwebs. Yes, right. So, it appears our friend down there has changed a little bit. First Fallen, was it?
Yes.
Pleasure. Yes, I remember we met some time ago at some feast of some sort. I forget which feast. You people are always feasting. No wonder you're so fat.
I'm not fat.
No, you're simply large. Yes. But I understand it. It's dreadfully cold here, and you must envelop yourself, keep yourself warm. Speaking of which, is this cold weather ever gonna end? I came here particularly at this time because I was told that it would be spring, yet this dastardly snow seems to persevere. Is there any end in sight to it, or?
I believe this is about how it is here.
It's been going on a little bit longer than it normally would. I thought perhaps that thing had something to do with it. Well, we've noticed in the one we have in Elfheim that it does seem to affect certain aspects of the world. Perhaps this one is related to winter somehow and might be doing that, but now I'm starting to think that perhaps it's related to time or perhaps even sleep. In any case, with your leave, Lord Votan, I would like to travel down there to take another look at it. I know the last few times I've been down there, we couldn't approach because of the Draugr and their whatever Frost King that was living there, but perhaps things have changed. I would certainly like to go take a look. And Votan says, we were just talking about that, First Fallen and I. If you don't mind, I'll have First Fallen escort you there. Perhaps just to be on the safe side. If there are still Draugr there, don't engage with them. Come back and let us know, and we'll send more men. It's about time we get rid of that nasty business in any case, but perhaps you could go and scout it out for us. Would you mind, First Fallen?
No, it would be my pleasure. I've been
Very well,
sitting
mate.
here feasting for days and sleeping.
Well, it is a good life. I mean, if you can have it, it is a good life. Feasting, drinking, sleeping. You don't get much done, but it's certainly a comfortable life.
Very comfortable.
But it is dreadfully cold, so if you don't mind, I'm going to go and get myself a little fur cloak, and then perhaps we can be on our way down and go see what this is all about. I have a feeling something has changed, and whether that's for the best or the worst, I don't know, but we'll find out soon enough. Do you require anything first fallen? Or?
I have my axe. That is all I need.
Very well,
Gather your furs.
Thurfing walks away to go get his cloak, and he says, just bring him back alive. The last thing I need now is some sort of diplomatic incident with Alfheim. We just got done warring with them 7,000 years ago. I don't need it to pick up right away.
Of course, I will do what I can to defend him.
But don't get in too deep. If there's still Draugr there, don't. Better to come back here and get some help. By that point, we should have everything sort of sorted out and shipshape here, and I can spare some men to go with you.
Okay.
Thank you. Counting on
Of course.
Slams you on the shoulder. Takes off. You wait a little bit. Eventually, Thurfing comes back, having found somewhere a fur cloak that's way too big for him, but he seems to be pretty happy with it. Shall we away then?
Let's go. Off on adventuring.
That's a very distinctive voice you have. It has this strange ability to both embolden my soul and make my insides quake a little. Very interesting. Perhaps I could study it someday. You might have some strange vocal box thing going on that perhaps... do you find yourself yelling a lot?
I don't think I'm yelling a lot. I believe I'm just speaking normally. It's a very odd question. No one's spoken about my voice before.
Your children must be terrified of you. Very good.
No, they respect me. They listen to me as I
they should.
tell them to do things, and they keep leaving me these small little toys they keep carving, and I'm like, I don't need them.
Oh. Was that one of them there in your belt?
Oh, yes.
Oh, might I see it?
Of course. Hand it over to you.
He checks it out. Oh, it's very nice. It's very good. Whoever did this has some talent. You should be proud of them. He hands it back to you. It's not everyone who gets to have little mementos from their loved ones. I'm sorry, you just reminded me. It's been a while since I've been home in Alfheim. I would like to get this business over with so I can return to my own family.
Of course. Let us...
I'm sure that everything is perfectly fine down there and that there's nothing to worry about.
Sure, it's just nothing. It's probably just a rock, and this thing's probably just, I don't know, changing colors and pulsing for no reason. I'm sure it's completely harmless. If there was anything down there, I'm sure no one's messing with it or anything like that. I'm sure that, if the Durgar are down there, they would know better than to mess with any artifacts or... I mean, we're told not to travel out that way, so I'm sure they're told the same thing. I'm sure it's fine.
I'm certain. They would be mindless fools to mess with any of these things. Speaking of messing with any of these things, back at the ranch, back down, so we have a couple of people here. So this was the situation where we had Agos here and Hades, who were... Oh, Agos was already there. See, there's two Agos now. This is what you've done. You've doubled yourself, doubled the fun. Doubled
Magic.
the Agos.
That is the statement of the Great Myth.
Yeah.
Nope.
You are yourselves hanging out around this ginormous crystal, which has appeared to have powered down, and a lot of the energies and electricity that was kind of zooming around it and kind of roaming from one segment of it to the other have sort of died down, and the crystal has become kind of dark and inert. Ego says you have been wearing this crown, and you heard this voice echoing on inside of it. Can you describe, mostly for 80's sake, exactly what she sees at this point as you're standing there communing with this thing?
Well, Agos is unsteady on his feet, to say the least. He has been drained of most of the willpower and energy that he can channel in the fight against the Frost Jotun, and has this crown on his head and seems to be almost drawn to the monolith, kind of reaching out towards it and even getting so close as to place his hand on its surface as he stares deep into its crystalline structure, as if completely wrapped and occupied with thought.
Do you do anything 80's at this point?
Yeah, I mean, seeing him so focused is a little bit concerning. So she'll sort of stand next to him and just, are you okay?
You distantly hear her voice ask you if you're okay.
Don't turn towards 80's at all, but he does respond. Yes. Do you see it? Do you hear it? It's calling to us. Do you hear it, 80's?
The monolith?
No. Do you see inside the monolith? There's something powerful trapped.
Okay. Do me a favor and turn around, like back to the monolith. Can you do that?
Yes, of course. Can I turn away from it?
Yeah, you can turn away from it. As you turn away from it, you take another condition of your choice.
Well,
you feel literally that this thing is absorbing you. Like, it's not taking over you, but it's kind of merging you.
He kind of
drawing your
kind
energy.
of like crumples down a little bit in sort of a sickly manner. I don't feel well, ladies.
Okay, and I'll help him to sort of stand upright. We can go back to looking at it, and I'll just let him sort of turn around.
Do you hear it? It's calling to us.
I don't hear anything, do
help.
I? No.
No, in fact, it seems deader now than it's been. How about Dave? You give me an elementalism check.
Okay.
And Best, give me an awareness.
Okay.
Right off the bat, I rolled a demon.
Nice.
God, I love our rolls.
Yeah.
I rolled a
Thanks,
4,
Kyle.
so I'm good.
All right. So you notice that with this awareness check that you made, you notice that it's like he's fading away, like he's still there physically, but it's almost like whatever is him other than his body, like whatever his soul is, anything that's sort of inside of him is kind of fading away very rapidly now. And Agos, as you failed your roll, you get a sense that if you can hang on just long enough, you've seen magic like this before. It's sort of a challenge, a test of your willpower, of your strength. If you can hang on just long enough and you can just sort of power through, it will give you mastery over whatever this thing is. It's going to be difficult. It's going to demand a lot of you, but you just have to be stubborn and you just have to stick it out. And if you do that, you will gain mastery over this thing, or very likely, as this is how these types of magical things usually work.
He's got his hand, his palm against the monolith, and as he starts kind of breathing heavily, as if sort of winded from exercise, which he's obviously not doing, his hand kind of shifts and he starts to dig in with his nails, like to hold on as if he's climbing, but he's got his feet on the ground. And then you just watch as like his nails break as he kind of scrapes his hand down. We've got to do something.
Okay, guys. Jeez. Okay, just keep looking at it. Be careful.
Meanwhile,
what is it telling you?
Oh, sorry. Meanwhile, back in the cave, as you are standing around, around the this dead body and all the various things, and I'll just rhyme off again what's there so that you know. There's a gold coin on his chest. There's that strange beast skull, which was the Karakos skull, a giant snow-dwelling monster. Men who were irredeemably violent were said to be possessed by the spirits of the Karakos and would keep a decorated Karakos skull as a talisman. There's one there. There's a human skull next to him also that it's turned towards him as if it's looking at him. There's a silver chalice with a skull engraved in it. And I do believe you had made a test and just sort of realized that it was probably there because he was an important person, he was rich, and so in the tradition of drinking from your enemy's skull, he would have had a goblet of silver made like a skull as sort of an ornament to sort of represent all the enemies that he had slain and all that. So it was probably like an honorific item that had been placed with him. There's also a sword there. The sword is a great sword done in a very old style. It itself looks like it's been through, a lot of stuff. It's very notched. It's very sort of damaged. Definitely a sword that's been used. It is of some sort of black iron, and down the middle of it, there is this red squiggly line that runs all the way to the tip of it. And as you, Byron, as you grabbed it, you felt that there was power in it still, even after all these years. But you also became very angry, getting the condition of angry suddenly. And you can't really explain why. You're just really fucking pissed off right now, and you don't really know why, but you're angry.
Well, what are you waiting for? Take some more stuff if you're going to take some more stuff.
What is the matter? You look great with that sword. And Gooder's going to back away just a little bit. You know what? I've been saving this last beverage. Why don't we celebrate this find? What do you say? And I reach over and I say, I've already touched this. What damage would it be now? I don't have a cup. And I squirt some liquid, some of my lucky number 7 into the chalice, and I hand it to you.
Yeah, so Byron's like rapidly shifted his demeanor. Like he was kind of like, doofusy and curious, and now he's just like frowning and like kind of has the sword and he sort of like rests on it with one hand. The new hammer is like hanging out on his back. He like reaches down and like takes the chalice from you and looks at you and said, I mean, I will never turn down a drink. Do you think it's safe? Doesn't matter. And then he'll just...
The drink is safe. And I say, did you just drink all of it?
As the
you have
chalice,
I told you this. You have to warn me before you hand me things and tell me how to drink them.
As the chalice touched your lips, you heard the screams of anger and anguish of several hundred men. You felt this anger at you, at the sword in your hand, at this person lying here, and it's as if there are hundreds of souls trapped in this thing, that are just here because they hate and they are angry at this person that is there. And as you drink it, you just see in your mind's eye what's happened as each of these people, men, women, children, warriors, non-warriors, several cute little animals, were slain by this person, and you can see their last moment in quick flashes, as it's always him with that sword, just like getting really angry and cutting people down. And some of them are his enemies, but then more and more it becomes other people. And as all of this is kind of flashing through your mind, you eventually see this strange scene where there is a woman lying on her back in a bed, and there is a sort of midwife there holding a child that appears to perhaps not have survived, and you feel the anger and you strike this midwife down. And as you strike her down, you hear her last words, which sound like a curse to your ears. You come back to, please take a condition, and you will take
Dazed?
no, you will take your will. You'll take scared. As suddenly you feel the fear that all of these victims felt just sort of swell and filter through you. And Gudrid, you just, all of this seems to happen in a moment. His face just sort of contorts into like all these different masks of fear and pain and whatnot. And when he kind of comes to, he's on his knees. He's still clutching that sword, but he's sort of on his knees next to this this platform, this funeral platform.
My hand with the chalice is shaking a little bit, and my water skin with lucky number 7 is shaking a little bit. And I guess I'm looking down. I'm like, do you feel any better? I'm gonna put it back, and I dump the rest of it out. Can I tell that this happened after he drank from the chalice, or am I thinking perhaps he is still experiencing the sword? Can I tell that something changed when he drank out of the chalice?
So make an awareness check.
Okay.
Thanks for the raid, Fusca. Great to see ya.
Hey, thank you so much.
That's a 3. That definitely made it.
All right, awesome. So first of all, you hear 80s outside go, guys, or I don't remember exactly what you had said, Ease, but you hear her scream out for you. And the other thing that you get with your awareness, like you're not, a wizard or anything like that, but you get the feeling that it's probably like a mixture of everything. Like there's just a lot of stuff going on here, and like all these things seem to kind of be related or tied together somehow, and you kind of feel that there's just this miasma of energies that's just sort of circling everything and touching everything, and you guys are just bathing in it right now.
I jam the chalice in my backpack. Spoils. I've changed my mind. I take a drink without the chalice, put that in my backpack, and I say, Byron, do you hear that? We must go. We must leave this place. Can you get up?
Byron has probably fallen to his knees, and like uses this new sword to like sort of leverage himself up onto his feet, and he looks at you, and he's like kind of rained, like his like robust rosy rust colored cheeks have gone a little bit more dull iron. I don't think I like this place, but we should take as much as we can because he's not using these things anymore.
It would be wonderful.
New sword. You have a cup. I hit things with weapons, and you make things to drink. It's it's fitting.
It is fitting. It's true. I think this hunter would want us to share his glory. I think this is a good idea. However, I just heard my bestie yell out there. We have to go see if she's okay.
Let's go. I need 4 seconds, but I'll be right there.
So, Gudrid, you leave. What do you do, Byron?
I count. Well, I'll wait with him. I'm going to wait with him. I'm not leaving him.
I'm not trying to do anything. Byron has just experienced more people and things and feelings than he's felt. Since any amount of corruption, possibly. And he just sort of like takes a moment, takes a deep breath, and he sort of hoists the sword kind of over the shoulder. Let's fucking go. Gudrid.
Yeah. And then I'll run.
So
we fly.
As Gudrun turns to run, Byron, you catch a glimpse of something out of the corner of your eye. You see here, hidden beneath the platform, there appears to be a chest of some kind. You catch just a glint off of the metal, whatever those things are called, the straps, whatever.
Wait, Gudrid, hold on. I know that we said we were going to go out there because your best friend is calling. Did you see this chest underneath this dead guy? And I'll gesture with the sword.
No. She only called once, right? So I think that she's fine now. I'm going to go back and look under the chest.
And as you do that, back outside. By now, everyone's dead. Back outside.
Drinking.
Back outside, Egos, as you're clawing at this thing and sort of trying to hold on to it, you hear that voice again in your head. It goes, no, you must let go. You must let go. You get this feeling that you have to do this. You have to hang on. But this voice is telling you the opposite.
I have no reason to not trust this voice right now. I seem fully compelled to its purpose, so I will try to let go.
Okay. You manage to let go. It's not impossible to do. You sort of let go, and you kind of, part of you realize that there was no external compulsion to not let go. It was really coming from you. You had made that decision. So once you decide to let go, you realize that you can. The crown is starting to wear very heavy on your head. I would like you to take another condition. And as you step back, you see him even more, Sir Dimish. He will tell us what he's choosing and what you see, 80s. But
dazed.
Okay. So what does she see?
I don't know where I am. I almost look like I shake my head as I let go. Where are we?
I'll put my hand on his back. You're okay.
80s.
Yeah.
Where are the others?
I don't know. And I would like to use one of my heroic abilities right now. It is intuition. So it says when faced with a difficult decision, you can activate this ability to ask a question directly to the DM.
Yeah, that's the cheat power. That's nice.
Receive a helpful answer. Well, it says that the answer is supposed to represent my vast general knowledge and should only aid, in understanding, not like reveal everything. Okay. So
there's no roll to make. You just spend the willpower point.
Yeah, 3 willpower points. I'd like to know, like, in this moment, if there's anything that 80s can do to help him, because she sees that he's becoming weaker and weaker in different states and doesn't quite know what to do. So she's trying to draw on something.
You recall an old story, an old song about a king who had become king when he did not want to, and every day when he woke up, he would be feeling fine and feeling sort of himself, but then he would look and see his crown on the side of the bed, and then he would put it on. Then all of a sudden people looked at him differently and spoke to him differently, and he would be called down into the rooms below, and he would have to sit there and hear everybody's problems and all that. And as the day wore on, his head would keep going down like this as the crown just seemed to weigh heavier and heavier and heavier on him all the time. And one day, as he was sitting there, his servants and the people at the court were very surprised to hear a sharp crack, and his head just lulled down, and they realized that his neck had broken, and he just slumped in his throne with his heavy iron crown just dragging his head down.
Okay.
We must
so-
do something. It is our responsibility to intervene.
Oh, okay. We're gonna do everything that we can. Can I take this off of your head?
No, please.
Okay.
We
Okay.
need the others.
All right. I'll yell for them again. All right. Just why don't you tell me where we are right now? What's your name?
Magos, of course.
Yeah.
I know who
you
I
are.
am. Don't be daft.
What's my name?
Hades, you are my friend.
Yeah. Okay. Why don't we who else are we here with? Why don't you let's just keep talking a little bit here. And I'll just try to keep asking him very basic questions to keep him sort of hopefully distracted enough for my other friends to come over here.
In your head, Agos, you hear the voice now saying, "Please, let me die. Let me go."
Do you not hear that?
I don't.
He looks back at the monolith.
As you look back at the monolith, take another condition.
I'm going to take angry. Damn it, we must do something! Do
Inside
not
the
hear me!
No.
inside the cavern, as you are moving around to go and check this thing, Gudrid, you hear your friend call out again to you, and then you hear Agos screaming in anger, perhaps at her or at something else.
All right, forget this. She wasn't just scared by a mouse. I'm going. Do what you have
Well,
to do.
You pick what's important to you, I guess. That's fine. I'll open this goddamn chest.
I have my bestie, and I'm off.
All right, you're off. Byron, what do you do?
I'm
Don't
gonna
open that.
I'm
I yell as I'm leaving.
I'm very, very torn because the feelings and the anger that I got from the sword is different than the feeling of fear from the chalice, and they're like sort of like opposed. And I think the chalice and all of those voices kind of wins, and I'm gonna fucking swing this sword at this dead body and just like in a rage, just try to like sever it in some way before I open this chest. Like I'm pissed and frightened, and nobody's here to just. And so Byron just like takes a big hefty swing and tries to.
Your sword
cause some
comes
damage.
down right down on his body, and you meet basically no resistance as this body is old and desiccated, and you go right through it, and it almost sort of evaporates under you. The coin spins up under the impact of the blow, sort of rolls to the side, rolls along the edge of the platform, keeps rolling all the way to the other end, hits something, kind of wobbles a little bit, and then falls off. And as it falls off and away from this funeral platform, you hear the sound of a deep, deep sigh of relief and happiness, as if, you know, someone escaping some form of jail or something like that, and you feel this power rush right past you, this cold wind of air that just sort of brushes right past you, and you almost hear laughing as this entirety of this whatever force or form is echoes throughout this cavern as it escapes and flies off.
All right, I'm gonna open this chest now. It's not the weirdest thing that's happened in this room so far. Like,
Open it.
You open the chest.
yep, I'm gonna sort of lean down and still hold on to the sword.
Do it.
Inside are 1,000 silver pieces and a scroll.
Read the scroll. Read
Well,
the scroll.
Beth, you're so bad. Stop
Alone
encouraging
in
him.
this room?
Yeah,
I mean,
totally. Can you read?
all right. I think so.
Challenge. That
You
sounds
need
like
to do a
Byron,
language test. It's
That was a
an
challenge from Beth to Scoos, not from
Yeah.
not from character to character.
You it's an ancient language, so you would need to do a languages roll.
Oh, I am very good at those. And I rolled a 3. So
Does that make it
that is my base ability.
nice?
Hold on,
Wow.
hold on. I am angry, which affects.
Yeah. So you would have to roll
intelligence.
intelligence, yeah. So you would have to
Oh,
roll
shit here.
with a bane.
And that's a 1. So a 3 will do it. It was too much pressure with
You rolled
Gudrun
a
around,
1.
you know?
No, the
I
1's
rolled a
great.
1.
You got a demon
Wow.
on a dragon on it. That's amazing. All right.
So I ignore the silver and I just open up this scroll.
Yeah, you roll this scroll, and it's like, it's almost as if it's speaking to you. It's so easy to read and so easy to understand, and it seems to have been written, perhaps in haste. Is definitely like sort of written by hand by someone, and it says, "I have angered the gods by my actions. The blood of our Vardruna is a sin I can never wash away. It was the black moon that angered me so, yet how can I blame something so small in the sky rather than my own self? My anger is unending. It quivers through my mind, my heart, my hands, and even my sword. No words can soothe me, though I remember fondly a song my mother would sing to me so long ago. Something about the dying of the light. When the wind whistles through the branches of the hanging tree near Votan's hall, I can hear her sweet voice still carrying the words and melodies to my ear and bringing me peace. Would that she was here still to sing to me now."
Just some casual light reading alone in this cave.
Speaking of some light reading alone in this cave, outside, Gudrid, you come running out. Egos is not looking good. He is looking diminished. He looks like, half the man he was earlier. He just appears small and kind of all shriveled up, and you can see that Hades is trying to help. And around this time, also, First Fallen, you and Thirfing would have kind of arrived and sort of moved in slowly on top of the little hill there and kind of crawled forward and looked down into this area and seen these two people, one of whom appears to be wearing a crown now and was touching the monolith a minute ago and now seems to be having difficulty, and another one, a Jotunbaron. And if you would, both of you give a brief description for First Fallen, as I will put your portraits up on Owlbear. We'll start with Egos.
Egos is a Titan. He is elderly, at this point, very distressed, appearing to be agitated and maybe a bit of sickness in his demeanor. He has long white hair and a long white beard, and he's got this sort of flaky, rust-colored skin. He is grasping at this monolith, sort of like you can see that he's not aggressive towards his companion, but sort of like trying to brush them away as they're trying. You can see that they might be trying to like help him in some way, but he's just kind of like trying to brush them off as the anger overwhelms him.
And 80s.
Yeah, with 80s you see a Jotunbairn woman, young ish, and she is tall like everyone else. She's got blonde hair. You can see in her pack on the side of it she has a lyre, and she's currently sort of frantically like looking over her friend top to bottom, trying to see what she can do as he's in this distress.
Gudrid, you come out and you meet them, and might as well, while we're on the subject, give a description of your character as you come running out of the cave to join your two friends.
Sure. Gudrid is she's got, you can see a bow on her. She carries herself kind of like she's been outside a lot. She's running in. She's kind of dark skin, white hair, really scarred, really weathered clothing. She's making a bead pretty much straight for the one with the for 80s. Concern on her face.
So you arrive to them. You see Gudrid arriving near you, 80s.
Gudrid, okay, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, something's happening with Agos. He's wearing this crown. I don't know if that's a good thing. He says that there's something inside of the gem thing.
He looks terrible.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't think he wants to take the crown off, but I don't think he should be keeping this on either.
Agos, are you gonna die if I take this crown off you?
Focus! It is something we must do. It is our responsibility to. Do you not understand this? And
Something
he
is
just looks at you
happening
and he's got
to
like
you.
red in his eyes, just like bloodshot eyes.
Oh God, this looks just like what's going on in the cave.
Slowly, 80s is pulling out. She's got a length of silk rope, and she's sort of casually pulling that out of her bag or out of her sleeve like a clown. And she'll just sort of look over to Gudrid, kind of like, we're going to just follow along. And she's going to start trying to wrap up Agos with his arms pinned to his sides. Real quick.
Do me like this! God damn it!
We're trying to help, okay? Just we're trying to make sure things are okay.
Why don't we just take this crown off?
Well, that's
As
what I'm
you-
saying. You take it. His hands are pinned.
Okay, I'm gonna not grab it, but like smack it off. Like just hit the top of it, not like his body or anything.
As you reach out for the crown in your head, Agos, you're hearing that voice has been speaking to you that says, "No mortal may control time. You can only try to." And as that last word comes in, you take another condition, and then the crown is hit off of your head and flies off. I think you should probably take the exhausted condition at this point. As soon as the crown falls off or is thrown off or slapped off of your head, you immediately feel disconnected from this thing, and you feel like the sense that you were kind of being absorbed stops, but it has left you absolutely completely exhausted, just drained of all your energy, and you crumple to the ground.
Oh gosh. Okay. All right. Here, and I've got a blanket too. I'll just like wrap it around his shoulders. How you doing? Are you feeling okay? Well, not okay. Are you feeling better than you were just feeling?
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I think Agos is probably like passed out. as he hits the ground, like his eyes roll back. You can see like the whites of his eyes as his eyes roll back in his head. And I've got exhausted, sickly, dazed, angry, and disheartened right now.
Oh,
One more round of that crown.
yikes. Okay. Well, yeah, I've untied you. Don't worry. I'll still keep you wrapped in the blanket. I'll sort of prop you up and look to Gudrid. We
What?
need. He put on a crown and it was compelling him. I don't really know what it was saying, but he was hearing something that I could not hear.
Byron's in the cave freaking out too, and I don't know, doing whatever else. Why did we come here with them?
I don't know.
I guess we didn't
Okay.
have a choice.
No. This is fine. It's going to be okay. We need to find somewhere safe, and we need to just chill out for a second.
The cave was enclosed, and it was actually a very well-regarded hunter's tomb. I think it would be an all right place to hide for now.
Sure. I don't know anything about it. Yeah, if
I mean,
it's a safe place.
Byron is in there with a sword he just picked up, looking crazy. But other than that, I think it might be fine. Let's just get out of
Selling
here.
it.
Okay. And I guess we'll hoist up Egos and bring him
So
to
just prior to this, as just before it, you see first of all, and you see that they're kind of trying to pick up this old man who has crumpled to the ground and all that. After one of them slapped him on the side of the head and the crown went flying, Thirfing says, "Oh my, I think perhaps we should lend them some aid. Would you mind announcing our presence with your deep, rumbly voice?"
Of course. Like, touching things that probably don't belong to you. We shall help. Hello there.
You hear his voice reverberating through this this little
Oh,
area.
jeez.
Up here.
Yeah. Oh, hi.
Hello.
Hello.
May we be of some assistance?
Maybe.
Who are you?
That's complicated. Just call me First Fallen.
And I'm Thirfing.
What?
I said I'm Thirfing.
Sorry. Yes. No, I didn't mean that.
Oh,
Call you First Fallen?
Call me First Fallen, and then I'll reach out and pick up. How big is he compared to me?
yeah, you're a Jotun, so like they're smaller than you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, perfect.
They're
So I'll
like
just
adolescents to a big human kind of thing.
yeah, I'll just pick him up and.
Okay. We were gonna go to this cave. I guess that's safe.
Oh, it looks absolutely fine. I do believe we owe you one. You're the ones who messed with this until it stopped working, are you not?
Yeah. Yes, that was us. We
Most
did
excellent.
that.
Most excellent.
Well, that was easy. Mystery solved.
Right.
No
very
more
good.
mysteries surrounding this thing. We have it all figured out, and
Let's move inside, perhaps, where it can be a little warmer. And as he says that, he bends down and he picks up the crown. And he goes,
be careful with that.
Don't worry. I'll be careful. He just sort of slips it over his hand. And shall we?
Okay.
I'll turn to 80s and say he does live here. He must know about it.
Oh, I don't live here. I come from somewhere else. And you obviously don't live here either, since you appear to be alive. And everyone here, like our friend here, First Fallen, are quite dead.
He's from Elfheim.
I am. Land of the elves. All sorts of elves there. I'm just one of them.
Cool. Okay.
You've never seen an elf in your life. You have no clue what an elf is. You've heard
yeah.
stories about them.
It's good to meet you.
Pleasure's all mine.
Yeah. Okay.
Why is there screaming coming from that cave?
I don't mean to rush everything, but we have left one in there, and he's not right at the moment.
Great.
Before we walk inside, as you approach, you see all these runes that are carved around the entrance that Gudrid so carefully read last time. You can, if you want, make a language roll, anyone who feels like it, and see if you You get a different
Is
tale
this-
out of him.
Does this include Gudrid a second time around?
There's no reason
Yeah.
why it wouldn't.
Okay.
That's just a D20, correct?
You have to roll beneath your languages, which is your intelligence base.
Yeah, I rolled a 4. My base is 6.
I also rolled under. I rolled a 3 and minus 5.
Upon further investigation, maybe we should not have gone in there.
Yes.
I rolled a 1. So
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So, first off, Gudrid, someone has come here and changed these. They've changed since you were here because they say something completely different now than the last time you read them.
Just a second ago, it said something else.
It's magical writing for sure because it's changed in the
For sure.
meantime. I will
Okay.
read you what it says because you now can all read it. And because you got a 1, First Fallen.
Because you got a 1, he's going to sing it to you.
No, he's not going to sing it, but
Gonna beatbox it.
let me read it and I'll tell you what happens with him. So as you walk in, you see the runes and it says Halfdan the Cursed. Halfdan's first son was born of a black moon, and so perished afore 3 breaths filled his lungs. Angered, Halfdan slew the Vordruna who had brought him into the world. With her dying breath, she cursed Halfdan in the name of the black moon, and here the stone is broken, and you don't get the rest of the story.
The
But-
cursed.
But you know this story. First Fallen with your dragon roll there, and the rest of this story is that he became so corrupted with his anger and his hatred of everything that he just eventually his own people turned against him and they killed him, and they made sure when they buried him that he would be buried with things that the skull of the Vordruna who could keep an eye on him so that he would never escape. He was buried with a gold coin on his chest because gold being the heaviest metal that they knew would prevent the Valkyries from taking him away to Votan's hall and would keep him in place. The silver chalice with the skull of all the ones a skull representing all the ones he had slain to keep an eye on him, to make sure that he would never know peace, to torment him in his sleep, and to make sure that he would never escape this place.
So with that knowledge, you didn't touch anything in there, did you?
Gudrid goes running in.
You see the coin like rolling out of the cave.
No.
It's my foot. I just stare at it. And I look over.
They touch something.
Why do they gotta touch everything? Why does everyone touch things?
I don't know.
Meanwhile, inside, you are standing there having read this thing, and now 1,000 silver pieces richer, and you hear a whole bunch of people coming, and sort of you hear a bunch of people coming, and then you hear that's not what it said earlier, accursed, and then like the whole thing sort of coming. You look up over the platform, and you can see your friends and 2 other people that
Well,
you don't know.
Byron is angry and scared, and so he's gonna sort of like, after having read this scroll with those voices still echoing in his head, kind of drop it back in the chest and like kick it away and like hold the sword and kick himself back against the cave wall as everybody's coming in, just like, stop! What? Do you? What are you? We need to go. What are you doing back here?
Agos is down for the count.
We met some people, and this place is cursed. I'm digging in to get the chalice out. This place is cursed. Put that sword back right now. Right now. Do it.
I
don't mean to tell you what to do, but do it.
Can I make some sort of roll to see if he does this?
You can just
'Cause I
decide to
don't
put
think
it
he
down.
wants- I don't.
You can just decide. There's nothing. It's not forcing you to hold it.
I think he's gonna let it go as he's like kicking himself back towards the cave wall.
And the second it falls to the ground, you lose the angry condition.
Sure, just scared, shitless, just
That's right.
scared now.
The sword cling, ling, 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 clatters.
I'm jamming the chalice back. as best as I can remember how I found it.
Surfing picks up the gold coin and goes, well, it's probably too late now, but oh well. He comes back and he puts the coin back on the...
There's like, the corpse is severed, right?
Oh, yeah. It's just like the wind is just carrying the bits and pieces of it away.
Yeah, I just have your friend. I'm just holding your friend there, and I'm looking, and I'm like, why? Well, was that necessary?
Probably not.
Let's get out of here. We gotta.
It's probably fairly safe now. If the story is to be believed, and he picks up the coin again, Halfdan the Curse is no longer here. I'm sure we can make a fire out of some of these boards. You have a giant axe on your back there, First Fallen. Would you mind perhaps cutting some of this lumber down, and we'll make ourselves a little fire, and then there's some skins here we can wrap your friend in, and perhaps see about nursing him back to health a little bit. Then you can tell us what you're doing.
So I'll move the body out of, just because the body is useless now, like it was a means to contain something, but I'll move that aside and then chop up some wood there and pull it apart. Then I'll lay your friend onto the kind of bed. It's okay now. And then I'll pass the wood over to...
So
is putting him on a cursed throne the best idea?
Stay away from that.
You've already done the worst that you probably could.
Probably. See, I don't really like the probably part here because.
Well, what if?
No, I would say most definitely. But
I read his journal though, and it's not good. Like it's terrible and it's disturbing and
like poorly written.
It was eloquent and
okay.
to my eyes, beautiful prose.
They use the Oxford comma.
This cursed. Yes, very big fan of the Oxford, the Valhalla comma.
Yeah.
Seeing how everything has been touched, the coin rolling out as we approached in, you holding the sword and you putting the chalice back, I think that you've done all that you could do to this.
We're probably safe. So you'll build a little fire, and eventually, as everyone sort of warms up and gets a little bit of a rest, just tell me, are you going to take a stretch rest, or are you going to do like a full shift rest and stay here for like a little while? So a stretch rest is going to be 15 minutes, but if you want to do a shift rest, it would be about six hours.
Well, Agos is not looking well. I think if this is a safe place, I mean, I think it's better to take our time here for a moment than rush off to the next danger or whatever.
I am okay with whatever you choose. I can watch.
Not feeling the greatest.
Yeah, you don't look so hot.
You all rest. I will watch over you.
And I'll make us some tea and some food. I've brought a few victuals here in my bag. And so you'll stay here for several hours, and over the course of that time, you will heal all your willpower and your hit points, as well as all your conditions. So at the end of this, it'll be done. But eventually, like perhaps in a few minutes later, or maybe a half hour or whatever later, under some ministrations, Agos will start to awaken, and there will be like hot tea and some broth for people, and some salted meats, and you can sort of hang around the fire, and Agos will eventually sort of come to, and you realize you're in this cave surrounded by a couple of people you don't know, including some creature that you've never seen before, and people are drinking tea and sort of all looking at you, Agos.
Take a mug of tea from someone who hands it to me and keep it warm in my palm and let the steam kind of rise into my face as I just sort of stare into the mug.
How are you feeling?
I feel terrible. To be quite
Yeah.
honest, I feel as though... Well, I feel as though I lost control of myself. Physically, I feel better, but what happened out there? What was that thing? Who are you people, and do you know the answers to what's trapped inside that monolith?
Well, they've been helping us, so no worries there. As far as answers, we'd really like some.
My name is Thurfing. This is my compatriot, First Fallen. I believe he is a Jotun who you might be familiar with. I myself am an elf from Elfheim. I've perhaps have a few answers for you, but I think as far as what specifically was in that thing out there, you would be better placed than I to speak on that subject, old timer, as you appear to have had some communion with it. Perhaps you were wearing the crown, were you not?
I believe I did have the crown on my head for
I believe
time.
I believe you owe your friend here, and he points to Gudrid, some form of thanks, because these crowns will take over whoever wears them very, very rapidly, and were it not for her rapid intervention, you might have completely been lost to this monolith and the spirit that dwells within it.
You weren't looking too good there, little one.
Well, it's not too uncommon for me, to be quite honest. But, Gudrid, I do thank you for helping me out of whatever feverish determination I displayed back there in 80s. I'm sorry if I was terse with you. There was something in there calling to me, and it seemed to have taken over my purpose.
Did you get a sense, perhaps, old man, of what element or what facet of life it was tied to? They tend to be tied to specific elements.
It was time. It was time.
That would make sense. Well, you saved a lot of people. You saved a lot of people. The thing out there, this monolith, I've been studying them for some time. We first noticed them. I'm an astronomer by profession. We first noticed them several years ago. They first appeared as comets in the sky. We imagined that perhaps some distant star or other celestial body had perhaps exploded, and these were the remnants of it, meteorites that were coming through the sky, with several of them being carried by the cosmic winds, did find their way to Yggdrasil and landed in several of the worlds here, and one fell in Alfheim, where I come from. And like you, we realized there was something trapped in it, but it seemed to be dying, perhaps being separated from whatever hole it was part of before, and it was going insane. And as it went insane, it was, well, causing... The one that we had in Alfheim was tied to logic, and suddenly everything around it, the laws of nature, the laws of the world, the laws of reason, started to fray and come apart at the seams, and nothing made sense anymore, and people couldn't string two words together, couldn't think for more than a few seconds before their thoughts were disrupted by chaotic notions and It took a while for us to realize that it was this. We call them wrak av stjerne, which in your language would be a wreckage of stars. We believe they're the remnants of some astral body, as I said. It's not like, well, take this piece of bread, and he reaches out for a piece of bread. It's not like this piece of bread was ripped into several little parts, he says, as he kind of pulls it apart. But rather, it's as if this piece of bread was suddenly decomposed into all its various ingredients, and the flour fell somewhere, and the water fell somewhere, and the egg fell somewhere, or whatever the components of it are, fell in different places. Whatever it is that died and seeded these things. When we heard that there was one that had landed here, my queen, that's Sun Queen Astrid, not the Moon Queen Astrid. That's a little complicated, and we'll get into that some other time. But the Sun Queen Astrid sent me to study it, but not too long after I arrived here, we all, I guess, fell asleep. And, well, you saved everybody here with your actions when you interrupted it, but I strongly believe that if you had kept this on your head for much longer, this thing would have pulled you into itself, and you would have been lost, in this case, in time. Somehow existing neither here nor there, everywhere at once, yet nowhere. I would imagine it would have been very maddening. You escaped quite a dire fate. He pats you.
Yes, well, I have good friends who care for me, despite my shortcomings as an old man.
No, here's the thing, okay? Who saved us with all of their fancy magic back when we were in trouble? I mean, come on.
That was very impressive what you did.
Of course,
Yeah.
without any help from anybody else. Of course.
No, it was all Agos. Byron, where were you? Were you still in the cave when that was happening?
I was going to walk off just for a second.
In some ways, Agos, as the elder statesman of your group, you are the one who has shown the greater mastery over time. And so it is befitting that it was you who eventually saved the people here from the ravages of time.
And now what of that crown? It should be protected from misuse or perhaps destroyed.
Well,
I can try to destroy
I'm not sure I
it.
would destroy it, but it should be given to someone who has a strong grasp of time and who finds himself comfortable dealing with notions of time. There's no one like that where we come from.
We know some people who deal with time.
Very well, then it's settled, and he hands you the crown. Just don't wear it.
Okay. I'm gonna wrap it in a blanket, put it in my pack.
But certainly you didn't come here to explore these things.
No, we did not.
You know what we came here for?
No, I'm asking.
Oh, that sounded like you were telling us what we came. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying certainly you didn't come here for that. So what were you here
It's
for?
been a fun adventure since we've been here.
Well, the afterlife is always full of surprises.
I mean, not too long ago, I was surrounded by family and just feasting every day. So this is a lot more exciting.
Getting fat, and now look at him, all trim and ready for action.
I am not fat.
He's not fat.
We are
I'll reach
here
up and
to-
pat his.
Thank you.
Big boned, I think.
Big bone.
Very big.
So, what were you here for then? It's very rare to encounter people who are alive in these lands.
Yes, we have been sent here on a very important quest to seek out the hall, the Voten Hall, and speak with those who might be in charge here. Whether that is Frigg or Voten themselves, that is our quest.
Well, good thing we found you then. Bolton sent us down here.
Oh,
Things happen for a reason, I believe.
Very interesting. What is it that you were after then? I sense
Do you
purpose.
do you know of the Green Warrior?
Ah,
I'm not familiar. Are you familiar?
yes. Yes. He fell in love with a dryad, if I remember. You seek him?
Is he? Well, he's here.
Yes.
What?
That was a weird yes.
Sorry, I've been through multiple versions of the afterlife, and sometimes my mind is unclear of things. Oh, yes, let's see. He's in
the reading
grove.
the notes.
He's no. A little bit. Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, yes. He is here. He's in a grove of deprived love. Sounds
Despised love.
What? That's,
despised love. Sorry.
I heard deprived love, and that's very the surprise. That's much better.
Desprived. There we go.
Grove of despised love. The grove of love that is hurtful.
Can he? Do you know him and of him and where he is? Can he? Is that a place that one can leave freely?
No. So what you would know, First Fallen, is that it is the place where people who die of a broken heart go after they have died, and it's only a few hours march from here. But unless the dryads that guard that grove could be bargained with, you probably wouldn't have been able to leave. It's the final resting place of those who die of broken hearts.
So we can travel there, but it's a resting place for those who die of broken hearts, and he would have to bargain with the dryads. He fell in love with the dryad, and he was cursed.
Byron's gonna look up at First Fallen, just real squinty eye, give him like a look of appraisal. Is there a role that I can make to like see if I trust this? Like he's been cool, and he's really big, and I like that, and we're but I'm not sure.
What is it you want to do? Sorry, I
want to read this new
this new dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could make you don't have the skill?
No, of course not. Is it related to perception or intelligence or anything that isn't hitting things?
Yeah, so I would say that it is I would make an awareness check, which is your intelligence. You can assume that at this point you're healed and your condition. Did you get a 1?
I got a 2. It's almost a 1, but a 2 will do.
2 will do.
So ask your question of him, and he'll answer. Like you're trying to get a read off of him.
I just I'm gonna look up at him and go, he appeared to us outside of this place.
Okay.
And he asked us to sever our world.
Sounds very drastic.
Sever your world from this plane, or
from all places. From we live around Yggdrasil.
Yggdrasil, yes. He needs to start rambling now because you said the word Yggdrasil, and I used to protect that. I was my whole life protecting Yggdrasil, and then I was stabbed by a very short person.
Short people
Regardless
are
of
very dangerous. You underestimate them until they stab you in the back.
I didn't
Never
even
fails.
see him. It's very unfair.
But I don't suppose that Votan has taken a habit of letting people leave the afterlife, has he? I really have never heard of that happening.
I don't think he just lets us leave. I haven't asked either.
Perhaps we can go and see if this green warrior is still where he's supposed to be. And if he's not, then we will ask Votan what's what.
We will ask what the fuck?
Action to take, I suppose.
As we sort of start to gather our things and move on, Adis will sort of look over to Byron. Are you feeling better today?
You see Byron kind of like take a deep breath and look at you and just kind of go, I don't think any of us are meant for this place yet. And I don't feel well. Do you feel well here?
I mean, I feel perfectly fine, but you guys are all still living.
Not you.
Sorry, it's hard not to overhear you.
You have great hearing way up there.
Well, I just I know that this was sort of brought on by items in this space, and I sort of just wanted to check in. You found a scroll, right?
Yeah, and you see Byron kind of just shudder a little bit and like look into himself in a way that you probably have not seen very often. He's pretty like bright-eyed, but
so what's going on with that then? You changed.
He will reach and he will get up and walk over to the chest and reach in and grab the scroll and then hand it to you and say, look, it's not, I don't know, it's not good, it's not wholesome. This is a cursed place, and the longer that we are here, I just, I don't know.
Stop touching things.
I read it.
So you read it, and yeah. So you read it, you go through it, and the thing that catches your attention is the song, something about the dying of the light. And I'll let you, as we go on break here, I'll let you go back through your notes and sort of look for that, and you'll find a connection to that. But before we go on break, the last thing I want to say, and we'll again get to that after we come back from break, is as you're sitting here, both Egos and First Fallen, you keep looking at each other, and you feel both of you have an item on you. Both of you have a crystal on you, and you feel it vibrate, and you feel it start to sort of kind of just move with an energy all its own, almost as if it's communicating. And after sitting around a while and sort of focusing on it, you start realizing that it's coming from the other person. So I guess you realize that the energy that's sort of making it react is coming from First Fallen, and First Fallen, you realize that what yours is reacting to is also Egos across the way. And I will leave you to ponder that as we will take our break here. We'll take a short break, a few minutes, just to refresh ourselves, take a stretch, a little walk, get some water and hydrate. You take a little break too, but don't go away. We'll be right back in a few minutes, and we will find out what all this vibration that Agos is feeling is about. Thanks so much for hanging out. See you in a bit. So you have decided to go and follow the First Fallen here, who has apparently knows where the Green Warrior might be found if he's still here in Kvitroven. And so you've begun, after resting for 6 hours, so for a shift, you've rested and have cured all your conditions and have cured all your hit points and willpower that you lost. So you're back up to where you were originally. And you are getting ready. You're packing up, getting your stuff together, and are getting ready to follow First Fallen on this little trek. Is there anything anyone wants to cover on the way there, on the way to the Grove of Despised Love?
Say, given the realization, maybe, I don't know if it's called if it would be a realization or a more of a sense that Agos has of First Fallen's, I guess, something in his possession, or is it more of like
your thing's reacting
feeling?
to him somehow?
Yeah, my thing.
Like it was, your crystal was reacting, with feeling it vibrate with power, as if something was communicating to it, and your thing was vibrating. And you, after like some time of kind of sitting there and trying to feel it out, you realized that it was the presence of First Fallen that was making it do that. And same thing with you, First Fallen, where there's something here. You're not being versed in the arcane. Maybe you haven't necessarily picked up that it's Agos, but there's definitely something here that's gotten stronger the closer you've gotten to these people. That's making your thing vibrate.
I think Agos would sort of sidle up to as best they can to this large warrior. His sort of short legs, kind of trying to keep pace. And he would, I hate to impose upon you, as you have so graciously offered to guide us upon this leg of our journey. But I have studied a bit of the history of the Jotun, and the relationship in the Vesir and the Jotun and the Thane, Hundalfir. I don't know if I said that right. Hundalfir.
Although
made peace with the Visir, but as part of that, it was to give up these items of deep magical power. And as he says that, he'll hold up this small crystal that's mounted on a band of yew wood. It's dull gray, chipped at the edges, but you, I'm sure, recognize it as something powerful and significant.
So you can make myths. Oh, sorry, both you and anyone who wants can make, as he was telling the story, a myth and legends roll, just to see if anyone has picked up that legend also.
Yeah.
As the Thane accepted this deal, this bargain, this exchange, they gave away their power, and it rent asunder these powerful crystals, of which I have studied deeply and, possess one of them.
Say what now?
I rolled an 8, and then First Fallen will
And is
Basically
that a success for you?
Let me double check. I think so, because I have a 10 for Myths and Legends is intelligence.
Yeah.
So my intelligence is a 10. So I believe. Where's that?
So
'Cause I don't have that
gives
skill.
With a 10, you need to roll below 5.
Below 5, yeah. So yeah, it failed.
Okay. You've
I
I
never
didn't
heard
hit
the
the first
story.
full one. Yeah. I don't know that stuff.
I rolled and I succeeded.
So you would have heard this story also, just to fill you and the audience in here a little bit. So it was back in the midst of times. The Jotnar, who basically the Jotun or descendant of the Jotnar, were embroiled in wars with people called the Vaesir. At that time, most Jotuns lived in a place. Most Jotnar lived in a place called Jotunheim, and they didn't tend the world tree. Their kings were called Thanes. The Vaesir had people, mortals, in various other realms that worshipped them like gods, and this gave them power. The Jotnar were often portrayed in those stories as monsters that hid in mountains and ate mortals. In time, the Jotun Thane Hundalfr and the leader of the Vaesir, Odin, made peace. The terms were thus: the Vaesir would stop killing Jotnar and spreading fear of them through the worlds, and would give them a noble pursuit. In exchange, the Jotnar would live separated from the mortals and relinquish the title of Thane. Hundalfr accepted. From that time, the Jotnar leaders were called Jarl, a lower rank than Thane. He also changed the name Jotnar to Jotun, the singular version, to promote a sense of individuality among his people. The Vaesir gave the Jotun the power to tend the world tree and isolated them from the various worlds they lived in. Hundalfr surrendered his crown to Odin, who broke it into 5 pieces, the Iron Band and 4 crystals. One was for air, one for water, one for earth, one for fire, the very things that the Jotun were made of. Those are the stories that you would have heard. The rest of the story, the rest of the crown being dispersed and the different things, only through his studies would Egos have learned that, but you would know at least the origin of the Jotun, so that first part of the story you would know. But the rest of it only Egos would know. But you never really heard that particular story, first of all.
Yeah, with you showing me your stone, though, I will definitely reach in and pull out mine, and I too have one.
I could sense it upon yourself. May I look at it?
It seems to be reacting to you as well. Yes, you seem to know more about these than I do. I'll hand it to you.
Interesting. He takes it for a moment and gazes at it. Do I realize which one this is?
Do elementalism.
Do they just explode because they're not supposed to do?
Yeah, you're not supposed to cross the streams or bring the crystals close together.
I succeed with a 2 on the die.
Yet again, my game broken. So this particular crystal that you have now is of a sort of red amber color. When you touch it, it feels warm to the touch. It's not mounted on a band or anything. It's just serving itself, and it's got this really strange property where when you hold it, it looks like flame, like it's moving, like it's flame, but it's solid when you touch it, and it doesn't burn you. It just feels warm to the touch. With your roll that you made, you understand, and with the other one that you have, you understand that this is the flame of the lost Thane's lamentation. When you hold it tight, you can hear a sad moan as if for a lost love emanating from it.
I think that would cause Agos to just a tear to kind of roll down the side of his face as he sort of takes that in, and he graciously hands it back to First Fallen. There are many who believe that the reuniting of these lost crystals, the reforging of the crown, would somehow bring the Thane back, would somehow change things. but I do not believe that to be true. By separating the various bits of the crown, the bands, the crystals themselves, Odin has weakened the world around us. Perhaps even implications for our existing quest. The world is sick. It is ailing. Because the elements around us seem to be at odds, to be working against each other rather than in unison as they did for millennia. It is quite an interesting line of study. I could speak about it at much length if you would care to listen.
I have an ear for it, as the last time I helped out individuals in the afterlife, they too were trying to save the world.
Where
Which is
did you find this
interesting.
thing that you have first fallen?
They were flames that I had to collect to open a passage. There was a grove. I had to do a task. I made a deal, if I remember correctly, to give up some of my memories for it. Or was that the water?
That was the water. You found the
Yeah,
flames.
The
in
flames were at the town.
Yeah, you'd gone into town. That's right.
He remembers.
Seems to have traveled very far to come and meet you here, old man.
Yes, it is. It is quite wild how things play out.
Well, they do say we live in a mythical age.
You might be right.
Perhaps our skald would sing us something about the myths of old to carry us on our way forward here.
Me?
You do have a lyre on your back.
I do. Okay, yes. And I'll pull it out and attempt to just wow them with my vocal prowess.
Do a performance roll and then tell me what your song or poem is about. Putting you on the spot there, but
I absolutely succeed. I rolled a 4 again.
awesome.
And my base is 14. Okay, and what am I what am I singing about? For this, I'm going to just sing a song about springtime, about a time when things rise anew, and there seems to be a little bit more hope and possibility, and just kind of all of the nice things to sort of counter a lot of the feelings that we've been having in this place.
Very good. So with this wonderful tale carrying you forward, as some of you have a lot to think about, you will take some courage and some hope from the song that Adi sings you, and each of you can add an inspiration, so a boon to your little store of boons to be used when needed. As you leave behind the snowy forests of the area around Votan's Hall and the monolith, you find yourself arriving in a forest that is quite enchanting, of various bright colors, beautiful trees that move as if under the most sensual of breezes, these colors that just really inflame the soul and really just to remind you of almost of passion made physical in front of you, a carpet beneath your feet of deep purple grass that seems warm and comforting and welcoming, almost like the embrace of a lover. And it is quite a shock to see up ahead machines of war, as there appears to be a group of creatures of some sort that have catapults and other such engines that are attacking a small village that is on the outskirts of this forest. You see ahead of you here the grove, this little forest of these beautifully colored trees. Now, parts of it in flames, and the village also in flames, as a number of creatures that you can make myths and legends roll, or bestiary roll, or whatever that skill is that you have.
Beast lore.
Beast lore. You can make that.
Nineteen's not going to do it.
5.
7. I rolled under
Success.
my beast lore. Success too.
I
So,
failed.
those of you who are successful will recognize the attackers of this grove as goblins. And goblins, you will know, are not native of this particular world that you're on. And so it's very strange to see them here. The fact that they are outsiders and not dead are probably why, like you, they were not affected by the sleeping sickness. But they are fearsome warriors that come from Nisenheim. And opposing them on the other side of this little river, you see what those of you who made your roll recognize as dryads. Dryads, which are fawn-like beings that exist on several different worlds and are often associated with notions of love and so on and so forth. It is said that when a dryad hits you with one of their arrows, it may make you fall in love with the next person that you see. And currently, these dryads are being assaulted and attacked by these goblins as their little village appears to be burning here on the edges of this grove of desprized love. And as the lot of you arrive on this scene, and we'll put you up here, the lot of you arrive up here, you see this happening. The dryads seem to be in a bit of a tight spot now, as these goblins and their war machines are laying waste to the village and have slain several dryads already. As you see this, what would you like to do?
I mean, we have to do something.
Finally,
you could-
some action.
You could slip across the river and into the grove and
Let's fuck these goblins up.
Well, there he
Oh.
is.
Byron's
that-
already got his new frost mallet out and is like kind of sort of like picking up speed.
I'll look at your mallet and show you my axe.
I'll see
That's
your
something to
mallet
prove.
and raise you an axe.
Gudrid will start smiling, humming a little bit, and pulling out her bow.
You
right.
call these goblins? Interesting.
Oh,
They
boy.
bleed just like anything else, my friend.
There we go. We'll make the map a little bit more manageable.
Perhaps they burn as well.
Perhaps they burn as
Perhaps
well.
if I wasn't stabbed along, he's always going to go back to this story and just ramble about it.
So a couple of them
quite
are
small.
attempting to cross this bridge here and are being held back by the archers of the village, but the fire is spreading quite quickly, and will get out of hand fairly soon. So initiative in Dragonbane is done using cards. I will pull cards for each of the players, and I will pull for the NPCs. If you have powers that affect them and you want to use initiative, I think First Fallen, you have a power that affects initiative. Do you want to use it, or?
Yes, but activating. Yeah. I'll turn on my veteran. Activating this ability at the start of combat, or you probably know what it does, right?
Well, you have the one. I was thinking of the one that gives you the ability to pick two and choose one.
Wait. Is that the lightning fast?
Yep.
Lightning fast. Okay, that's yeah.
All right, so you need to spend 2 willpower points.
Okay.
And when I will draw cards for you, I'll draw 2, and you may choose which one you want. Lower goes first, so it's up to you what you prefer. So the 2 cards that I have to offer you are, 1 and 9.
One's good, right? Or
one goes first, yeah.
One's first,
okay,
yeah.
so I'll do 1 then.
All right, so I'll
1
put
and
9
9.
back in the deck. And then I will draw for Gudrid, who will go at 3. Then I will draw for Hades, will go at 8. Egos will go at 9. Egos got your 9.
Always last.
And Bayorn will go at 2. Byron will go at 2, and the NPCs, including Thurfing, will go at 6. So the way the combat works here, very quickly, you can move wherever you want. I will say that to move anywhere on this side of the river doesn't cost you any movement. You can move and still do your action. If you want to cross onto the other side of the river, you're moving into a different zone, and then would have to spend your action as a movement to get there. But as long as you want to just stay on this side of the river, you can move wherever you want and do your action. So we will begin with First Fallen. What would you like to do?
I will move here.
Grudrid's is 3.
I will run up to that goblin, as you call it.
And as you run up to him, he hasn't even seen you. He's very busy kind of reloading this catapult as you come upon him.
Excellent. Then I will swing at him with my the frost cleaver, as I call it.
The frost cleaver. All right, so you roll against your strength.
Okay, so I need to... I got a 14, and...
That probably hits. You got a pretty good strength.
Yeah, my strength, base is 14.
All right,
my strength
so
is 18.
If you meet, you beat. So you come swinging out at him. He doesn't see you coming, so he doesn't get a chance to dodge or parry or anything. You just come charging, and you break down with your axe. So go ahead and roll your damage.
2d10.
2d10, but you also have a strength bonus because of your strength, which is d6. So you would roll 2d10s plus a d6.
For a total of 16 damage.
That's a whole whack load of damage. So now what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to take that damage, which is 16. I will look at this warrior's armor. He happens to be wearing studded leather, which gives him an armor of 2. So he will take 14 damage. So 16 makes will give him 14 damage. And since he has a fat 12 hit points, how do you want to massacre this
you'll just
goblin?
see First Fallen run up, and then I just take my axe, and I'm like, he hasn't seen action in a long time. So he just comes down and just splits him in half.
As the goblin is split in twain, and lets out a shriek. His compatriots turn around and realize that they are under assault from the other side, and so will be ready to defend themselves now. Next up would be Byron at 2.
Can I wave at the goblins?
You can wave at the goblin. They're like, that voice.
Byron is feeling very inspired by this Jotun who's just charging in and messing shit up, and is gonna sort of like trail in like sort of run with this new hammer and sort of like toss it, spinning it sort of laterally, so you see the hammer spin through the air for a little bit, and then sort of leap around, not leap, kind of run around and like kind of give a good eye up and go for another goblin.
All right, this
Like
one sees you coming.
running polo style.
Sees you coming, and he's going to attempt to parry your attack. So you roll your attack.
Oh,
I
got a 6.
You got a 6, so you miss.
No, 6 is a 6.
Oh no, 6 is a hit. That's right.
By a whole bunch.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't take me much to hit something anymore. That's the one thing that I'm good at.
He's got a scimitar, and he attempts to parry. He rolls a 3. His skill with the scimitar is 12, which gives him a 9 differential. What's your differential with your skill?
Between what I rolled and my skill.
Yeah.
So I rolled a 6, and my skill is 18.
All right, so your differential is greater. So he tries to parry, but your hammer comes down and knocks his scimitar and actually notches and does some damage to it. So go ahead and roll some damage on this fool of a goblin.
I will spend a willpower point to do some extra damage.
Oh.
Nice. Okay, so it's an extra d4 of frost damage.
Nice.
3, 6, 12, 21 damage. Most of which is bludgeoning and toppling, but there's a little there's 3 frost damage.
So his armor is only 2, so he soaks up 2, but it's still more than hit points than he has. So what does it look like as you pulverize this goblin?
I have taken the head off of a creature before, so I'm gonna aim for like the waist and just kind of remove the middle portion of the torso with this blow, and leave like the feet and the upper body sort of to meet and fall over.
He looks like a mug now with like just this, and then part of him just kind of off to the side. And you
feels good.
And you sorry, we're posing there. You smashed that guy to smithereens. Gudrid at 3 after that.
Gudrid's gonna move up a little bit to get in the group here, but she's gonna shoot at one of those 2 that are trying to cross the bridge.
Okay.
With her bow.
2 of them look. So the one that I've marked already in this one appear to be slightly bigger and more imposing goblins, just so you know.
Okay. Well, I'll get started on them. I rolled a 3 that definitely hits.
Go for it. So you can roll some damage. Are you hitting the bigger one or the regular one?
I'll take the bigger one.
All right. So go for your damage. He wasn't trying to dodge or anything. He was too intent on cross damage.
12. Max.
12? Nice. So you do... Sorry?
Nothing. I'm feeling good that we've got 2 warriors, like the juices are flowing, so I really got my aim right on that time.
Your arrow hits him. He's got an armor of 2, so he takes off 2 of your damage, taking 10 damage, and he's got 12 hit points, so he's actually not dead, but he is quite wounded as your arrow catches him on the side, and he's like, what the? And he looks over to you and seems very displeased to have this arrow sticking out of himself. At 3, at 6, then it is them. So this one will come around, and he's kind of angry at you two, so he's going to come out there. This one's going to move in, as well as this one. They're going to start coming around. This one's going to try to go back up his boss, who's still trying to cross. So Gudrid, 2 of them coming at you live. They are going to come at you. Bring it. One of them will attack you. He's got a double slash heroic ability, so he'll attack both you and First Fallen, but the first one's going to attack just you. And he rolls a 4, which hits you for Gudrid, and he will do 9 points of damage minus your armor.
Okay.
The second one will hit attempt to hit both you and First Fallen. So on you gets a 17, so he misses. And on First Fallen, he gets a 5. So he hits First Fallen. doing 8 points of damage, 8 minus your armor, First Fallen, as he
Okay,
does a double slash coming in and
I think
I think you're
I
dead.
have an armor rating of 4, so
All right, so you take 4 damage. On Byron, the first one rolling a 13, that might miss. 13 misses. So the first one attacks you, then the other one, the bigger one, the chieftain kind of guy, has 2 scimitars, because, you know, that's how he rolls. And he rolls a 7 on the first attack. Ooh, and a demon on the second one. So the first attack will hit, doing... He's got a bonus damage. He's going to do 7 points of damage minus your armor.
He's going to do 2 points of damage.
And as he hits you and goes for his second attack with his other sword, having rolled a demon, he catches his buddy that had just moved in to fight you, and his sword kind of hits him, hitting him and doing 5 damage to him. As he comes in and gets a sword shot to the side from his captain. He's like, Get out of the way of my sword, you dumbass. The Dryads are firing at those 2 guys, and then at 8, it'll be 80s.
Yeah. Okay. So, 80s is going to kind of run up over here.
You crossing?
Oh, that's a bridge to
That's not a bridge. That's just, it looks,
Okay.
It's unfortunately the same thing as a bridge. It's just the
No,
place
no.
of the name.
That's okay. Yeah. I just
But
wanted
if you
to
cross over, it's your movement. You're
Yeah.
changing zones. Okay.
So I'll just, am I at the end of it? Like, can I still take an action at that point?
You can, but before you do that, I'm the one who rolls. 13. For a moment, as you crossed this little bridge, you felt this deep sadness, and you don't have to say it out loud, but your character would, for a moment, remember the heartbreak, one of the heartbreaks that she would have had in her life, either from a lover, or it could even be like a heartbreak about something else. But as you crossed that frozen river there, you would suddenly have remembered this heartbreak that you had, and you would feel it clutching at your heart a little bit, and just leaving you with the sadness of this lost love, and making you regret.
This sucks. Okay, well, I'm super bummed, but I am gonna pull out my crossbow and shoot regardless. From my vantage point, could I hit the red guy?
You can't shoot, right? Because you moved into a different zone, so that's your action.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
Okay. So you moved in and you feel sad, and for a moment you are up there feeling sad. And the moment we've all been waiting for, Agos.
Woo!
Hello. All right. So, quick question, Bleakseason.
Yes.
Do I get the sense that this fire is magical in nature?
No, it's just they were
It's physical
throwing
fire.
Yeah, they were throwing.
Okay. All right. Well, are any of these siege machines being used currently?
All the 2 of them are ready, so the 2 catapults are ready. There's no one manning them right now, as everyone has kind of turned away to take care of the intruders. But 2 of them are ready to go. Like the 2 catapults are pulled back and they're loaded with a burning shot.
It doesn't seem like an immediate threat, given that there's nobody manning them. Okay.
They could be at a moment's notice used, though.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and just cast Fireball, and I'm just gonna. I mean,
It's classic.
and I'm gonna power it up to a third order.
All right.
Third degree. I'm I'm power leveling it up. And I cast it across the battlefield towards the two that are about to step
Cross
foot
the
on the
bridge?
bridge. Yep.
Awesome. Go for it.
All right.
You don't have to roll anything, actually, if I remember correctly.
I get to roll damage, which I think I ramped it up to. So I
Yeah.
use a bunch of willpower points, so I get 46 as my damage on this.
40 d6.
40. Ooh, that's good.
Poor goblins.
That's an
That is
entire-
a total of 16 damage to those two goblins as they get smashed with a fireball.
Right. Well, this one dies a most horrible death as the fireball catches him. And he was already wounded, so he dies. The other one here catches on fire and stops, drops, and rolls as he's kind of like beating the flames off him. He's like, "Ah!" just rolling on the ground, trying to put himself out. But you have, oh no, sorry, you had shot him, right? The big one?
I shot the big one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So the other way around, then the big one dies.
I was gonna say he's a monster. He's still
Yeah, and then let me go see if the other one. How much damage did you do?
16?
Oh yeah. So both of them explode in this fiery hell
For you,
death.
chat. That's for the chat right there.
As bits of charred goblin start raining down on the battlefield. Doesn't smell good. That's all I got. to say.
Byron's gonna roar it like a deep bellow.
Yeah.
And at one, we're right back to First Fallen.
Oh. I'll attack the one right. I guess I try to attack me.
Yep. So it would be this one here.
Yep, correct.
So you turn around,
Yeah.
right? Roll your
Oh,
skill.
16.
Oof. That probably misses, right?
I believe so. Let me double check. Yeah, that misses.
As you come crashing down with your axe, and he moves at the last second, and your axe just digs right deep into the earth there, sending chunks of earth and rock just sort of flying everywhere at him. At 3, Gudrid. No, sorry, at 2, Byron. You have 2 of them in front of you, Byron.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the scary, clumsy one rather than the one.
This one's
that's,
nimble.
This one's spry.
It's a good
But
thing
they
my
got my
hammer is
butter.
really big.
Go for it.
I'm gonna roll a 7,
Nice.
and I'm gonna use massive blow, which adds a D8. So we're gonna roll 2d10, a D6, a D4, and a D8. See what
Wow. All the dice.
Oh,
I like
that
this
is
system.
good. 5, 10, 15, 23, 25 points of damage.
25 points of damage. His armor takes 4 off because he's wearing chainmail.
21 points of damage.
As your hammer just crunches into him and bits of chainmail fly everywhere, and he kind of stumbles, but he's like, "I'll get you yet," and he's still kicking and grits his teeth in his 2 scimitars, but he's quite grievously wounded. At 3, Gudrid.
Gudrid is dropping the bow, pulling out her ancestral skinning knife, her
Nice.
bone dagger, and going to try to get the one that looks, yeah, I guess probably the one closest to the frozen river, because
Yeah.
we've got
Okay.
this giant, scary, deep-voiced creature fighting this other one. So I'm not worried
Yeah,
about
you
that.
got Barry White there backing you up.
Yep.
I'm not scary.
Says the nightmares later.
Is that
Uh,
Barry White or Scary White?
Scary White.
Oh,
Scary.
very
Sky.
frights.
Oh, that's a big miss. It's not a demon, but it's 18. Nothing.
Big miss. All right, so you, with your dagger, he's like, "Grr," and just sort of manages to get out of the way. Nice. 3 at 6, then. It is them. So one of them is on you, Gudrid. He rolls a 15, so he misses. The other one is turned to First Fallen. Rolls a 5, so he hits. First Fallen, you're going to take 7 minus your armor.
3 damage.
On Byron, the one that got hit by his buddy, is kind of upset, but he figures he'll take it out on Byron and rolls a 12, which actually I think might hit. It does, in fact, hit. Doing
12 hits?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I know.
Ooh.
Yeah. 2d6 plus a d4 for his strength bonus. So that's 10 points of damage minus your armor.
So 5 points of damage. Okay.
Right. The other one, whom you almost massacre, realizes, damn it, I'm in trouble. I'm in a tight spot now. He will attack you with his 2 scimitars. The first one,
both of them. All right.
16, which actually hits with 16.
What the?
Yeah, this guy is skilled, and the 5 hits also. Oh my God, it's gonna hurt, man. You ready for this? First attack is 8 points of damage minus your armor.
So 3 points of damage.
And the second attack,
Hell.
that's 15 points of damage.
I am down. I am down like a clown.
As hit this guy so angry that you hit him with your hammer and made him look like a bee, just wails into you with his 2 scimitars and just digs into your armor and cuts you down. And a lot of you see Byron just topple over and drop down to the ground. After that, this one was
happy.
Coming in at First Fallen. Rolls a 2. So that's going to be a hit on First Fallen, and he will give you a taste of his scimitar for 11 points minus your armor.
11 minus armor. Okay. 11 minus 4. That puts me down too.
As he crunches into you and you fall down as your 2 big warriors suddenly fall down incapacitated. There
They
you
hit
go.
hard. Oh, right in the ankles. My one weakness.
Right in the place that hurts. And behind you, Thurfing says, "Oh dear, this is not good, is it?" So that was all their actions at 6. At 8, we are back up to.
Good thing all their actions just took us down. Yes.
a very bemused looking 80s.
80s is incredibly sad for reasons unknown. And now she sees 2 of her friends fallen. So she's not in a good place.
Don't forget to use your heroic abilities, people, by the way.
Yes. No, I don't really have anybody that's close enough to make that worthwhile. Because I chose to cross the river into sadness. I
bet you regret that choice now.
I do. I very much do. But I will shoot with my crossbow because that's something I can do.
Awesome.
At probably, I don't know, whichever guy is closest to me. I don't really care.
Yeah,
there's
there's one up there that's wounded, so we'll see you're shooting at him.
Okay, fantastic.
Remember, you have advantages too, right? Because you have 1 normally, and then you each got 1 from your song. So you.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to shoot with my crossbow. And I rolled 2 9s. Which nope.
It doesn't hit.
No.
Wait,
how does that not hit?
I don't know.
What?
It should. So I'm looking at you. First of all, you don't have a crossbow skill, so right off the bat, that doesn't help you. And since you don't have the crossbow skill, you're looking at your agility 14. The base roll for that is you have to roll under 6. You still have a base chance.
Oh, I didn't do it. I rolled 2 9s.
Okay. Oh, so close.
I'm too sad.
You're about to be sadder.
In the way.
That's right. 9. It's all on you now, old man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll do what I can. No promises. What I am going to try to do, however, is I'm going to try to use my shatter spell.
Okay.
What I want to do is I want to shatter the catapult that's nearest to me, and I want it to fall. I want to shatter it and pull it towards those 3 goblins that are attacking my friends.
I like
Try
it.
to crush them.
I like it.
Crush
Go
them.
for it. Go for it.
All right. What do I do? I roll.
I'm breaking a ball. The spell inflict 2d10 damage on an inanimate and non-magical items. Armor does not affect each power beyond the first increase.
I'm powering it up. You know,
All
I'm
right.
powering it up, Bleak, to maximum power.
Okay, don't. Yeah, okay, it's fine.
So I'm rolling 4d10.
Rev it up.
I'm rolling 4d10, baby.
All right, so go for it.
Ooh, 8. Another 8. Oops, missed. That's a 1. And a 4. So that is 8, 9. That's 13 points of damage on the catapult.
All right. So it doesn't completely shatter, but the upside to it is that as parts of it kind of start to crumble and fall apart, one of the bits that falls apart is the thing that's holding the fire. And this thing rolls out, and it rolls right out onto this guy. All right. So give me a 2d6 damage on that guy. A fire
6.
damage.
And
Nice.
2, 8 total.
All right. 8 total. All right, so this ball of fire that was in the catapult just sort of rolls off and falls right on top of him and kind of squishes him under, and like now it's burning. He's holding it. He's like trying to push him and sort of fight it off, but he has been rendered incapacitated as this boulder of fire now is on top of him, burning him. And yeah. All right, back up to 1 would be First Fallen, who's not doing too well. After that, at 2 would be Byron, who's not doing too well. And after that, at 3 would be Gudrid.
Come on,
Doing
Gudrid.
great.
Oh,
You're
pressure.
doing great, Gudrid. You're doing great.
Doing
Hey.
great.
Do you want us to
Not
make
really.
those death saves? Sorry.
So keep going, Gudrid. I'm going to go check that out. So that is
okay.
how that works.
I am going to do another stab. Can I just give like a howl to the sky and then just jump on him and try to start stabbing him? Because I'm seeing my party members going down and I am bleeding.
Okay, go ahead.
That's a little flavor for my stab.
Go for it. Reminder also that you can push rolls if you fail. Maybe we should have reminded that before. But yeah, both First Fallen, actually not First Fallen because you're already dead, but Byron, go ahead and make a
Happens all the time.
It's cold.
make a death roll.
That's a demon. So that's a 20.
No.
So you want to spend one of your advantages there to reroll that
Yeah.
sucker?
Yep. I do. That's another goddamn 20. Are you
serious?
shitting me?
Jesus
I am
Christ.
totally 100% serious
Oh my
right now.
God.
I just rolled 2 demons in a row.
All right.
Jeez, no.
So you die. Good thing is you're already in the afterlife.
Holy shit.
So we'll see what happens with that. I do want to point out that people, if you get within 10 meters of a friend of yours, you can try a persuade roll to help them rally. And if you you succeed, it allows them to to sort of get up and move out of wherever they are so that they don't get trampled on or hit on again. All right.
When they're unconscious, you can do that?
Yeah.
Is
Get
that
them
like
to rally. The
an
free action. It's a free action.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Get it.
So you could totally try that with First Fallen.
Yeah, I rolled my hit already, and that's a hit.
Nice.
And the damage is 4. And then can I try to rally?
Yeah, so go ahead and make a
Scary white.
Make a persuade roll.
Okay. Okay, so that's a 9. Persuade is intelligence based, charisma based?
Would be charisma based.
Okay. So I have a 10, so that I just made it.
Nice. So you are fading away, First Fallen, but there's a voice that's egging you on, that's urging you to fight and to rally, and you find yourself finding a last morsel of strength inside your body, and that means that you can take your movement action, so you can sort of kind of get yourself up and stumble away if you want, and head off to some safety or to somebody who might be able to help you if you want. Where would you like to go?
Get up, you big scary guy.
I'm awake. I'll go right there.
All right. So you go crawling.
Yeah, he doesn't know the rest of it. He's seen his power, so he's like, you might be able to do something.
At 6, then, it is them. The Dryads will move up and start firing at those dudes. They will put in a couple arrows. They'll finish this guy off. And injured that one, and he will start heading back towards them. He will come to you, and he will kneel down next to you, and he will use a healing spell, treat wounds, and he will give you back 7 points of health, First Fallen.
Oh, 7 points?
Yeah. As he kneels down next to you and puts his hands on you, and you can feel the magic weaving your skin back together and your bones sort of back together. That one will, hold on. That's a 7. That's a hit. That's a 1. That's a demon. So this one hits you, Gudrid, for a paltry 4 points minus your armor. The other one with a demon will actually take a huge swing at you, and as he misses, his arm kind of snaps taut, and his blade goes flying off, and it skitters on the ice out towards where Hades is. So this one is currently disarmed. I will put a little token on him. I'll just put a stun, but he's not stunned, he's just disarmed. And that one has hit you for 4 minus your armor, and then we go to 8, so 80s.
Yeah, okay. I am going to throw up, and then I'm gonna geez. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna throw my knives. I don't know. That's a thing I can do.
That is a thing you can do.
That is a thing I can do.
That one's pretty wounded though, so if you get
which one? The
one that doesn't have anything on him. This one here.
Okay.
This one.
Yeah. I'm gonna go right for him.
Go for it.
Boy, if I miss, he's only a tiny bit away. Ooh, I rolled a 2, so that'll definitely,
very nice. Yes,
that'll definitely do it. And so that will be 3d6. So that's 10 points.
That's pretty solid.
damage. Yeah.
With a knife.
Yeah, just go right
And
at him.
that does what it needs to do. He had 8 points left.
Excellent.
Nice. So this one crumples under the flurry of thrown knives. And comes down. Egos, a 9. Dave's gone.
Agos is going to relatively race forward.
Hobble as fast as he can.
He's using his staff as he's moving his way up to his friend Byron.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he hates his haircut, he thinks this guy's he's good.
Who doesn't,
He's
right?
good. And he's
Fair.
going to attempt to persuade. God damn it, you young bastard! And he slaps him across the face. Get up and fight, my friend. I'm gonna try to persuade him to come back from wherever he is.
Right. So, look, I'm going to ask you to make a persuasion roll, first of all.
Come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
so
remember that you have advantages.
I do. I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it. My persuasion is admittedly terrible.
Yes.
So here we go. But I get to roll twice to see what I get. Here's the first one. Nope, that's a 14. Second one. Nope, that's a 9. I'm sorry.
Oh,
You hit him too hard.
Damn it! Get up!
You hit him too hard, man.
Don't aim for the face. Try the gut.
He'll just start. punching
Everybody's
in the
just
gut.
standing around hitting my body, trying to get.
slapping your face back and forth.
I did
You
my
do your best. You slap him. You scream at him. You shake him. That bull haircut just kind of moves everywhere.
So
there's nothing to it.
mean.
He stays totally glassy-eyed
Oh, no.
and unmoving. And that's at 9. Going back to 1 would be First Fallen.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to attempt the same thing, basically. I'm going to run up over here as close as I can. I'm not trying to step on the other token. And then I will attempt to wake him as well, and I'll pick him up and shake him.
Okay, so here's what happens. All right, as you approach him, the crystal that's on your person
Right.
you start hearing a low moan from it, and there's a lamentation. If you remember, it was a lamentation from a love lost, right? And as this crystal starts to moan this sort of sorrowful song, first of all, 80s, it just, you hear it and it just breaks your heart again a second time. This song is being picked up throughout the forest as this woods is entirely filled with souls whose hearts are broken. And as they take up this sort of choral, this sort of chorus that rises in unison, your gem is fairly vibrating. And as you're holding it, not too sure what's happening, Agos, you're standing next to him. And you understand something with your studies into these crystals and the crown of the Thane and all of this. You understand that perhaps this crystal could be sacrificed. And its power of lamentation, which here is filled with support from all these other broken souls also who sing with it and sort of try to heal it, that it is possible that someone with some arcane skill could use this gem to perhaps achieve some minor miracle of some sort, but it would mean that this gem would be destroyed in the process.
Okay.
As you look at First Fallen, it doesn't look like he knows what's going on. He's just like, what the fuck?
Your gem, it could be used It could be used now for, well, to solve this problem. But it will be gone if you do so. Give
Well,
me
then
the
let's-
gem.
Here, use it.
So as he gives you the gem, first of all, now that you have two of them, you feel their power sort of grow. You feel them wanting to be near each other. You feel the presence of the Thane, long lost. Now, for the first time in millennia, the closest he's ever been to being found with two of the pieces of his crown held close together. As you hold this one in your hand, you realize that it can be used to curse an enemy, but also to protect you from fire and from flame. And you can almost feel the presence of the lost Thane just hovering nearby, a step closer to returning, perhaps fulfilling the prophecies, perhaps not. But as you hold it, you have a decision to make. You who have been researching these, you have made it your life's goal to uncover the secrets of this crown and these gems.
Wait, why is everybody looking at me right now? He looks down at these two gems. He's got one in each hand at this point. And he feels the power. And he looks around and he sees his friend laying on the ground at his feet. What does he know of how to use this to sacrifice this crystal?
It would just be to absorb its power and unleash it back into the world, allow the power, the anguish, the lamentation, the sorrow, all of these things to escape from this and go find respite, go find surcease of sorrow, literally, in this
Sure.
forest that is meant for this.
So he focuses on this crystal that was given to him by First Fallen, and he can feel it now starting to burn his hand. He can see, looking down, there's a bit of like black around the edges of the crystal in his hand, and he's going to focus on this and channel all of his energy into it with the idea of drawing forth the burning pain of this grove and try to basically suck the flames and the sorrow into the crystal itself.
What do your friends see as this happens?
He closes his eyes and squints hard, and he grips it. And again, like I said, it's burning his hand. His hand starts to glow as an ember itself. And he kind of raises it up. Inadvertently, it kind of rises and glows extremely bright. And his arm just starts to sort of like all the hair on his arm burns off.
And as this light is shining out, you can see the souls, lamenting souls of all these heartbroken people who have died over millennia of broken hearts come out of the forest, all as this giant wave of sorrowful people just sweep through the entire place. The gem in your hand shatters, and you feel it release this long moan, and you can feel this sorrow that the Thane had felt at whatever moment this was created just be unleashed through this and join the chorus of the other voices rising around. As that's happening, the dryads have moved closer and are finishing off the rest of the goblins, and they look up totally entranced as they're seeing this monumental appearance of all these souls sort of gather around you. And as they all come and gather around Byron, they lift him up, and you can see Byron's body slowly be lifted up. They carry him up, and as they do so, you can feel him slowly gather energy from these people. This is what we do, right? When we are injured, when we are hurt, when we are sorrowful, we seek the help of people, and they all come together. All people who know exactly what he's been through, all people who understand the pain and the suffering that goes into losing someone to love or to death or so on and so forth. They all come together with him, and in that coming together, ease that pain. And when they lower him back down to the ground. His eyes open slowly, and these souls slowly back away from him, and then total silence as they return to the forest, taking with them possibly the part of the Thane that had been heartbroken. And Byron lies there in this purple grass with fresh snow slowly falling down on his face. And he looks up, and you see all your friends leaning down, closed around you.
What happened? Did we win? Can I hit something else? Oh, I don't think I can hit anything else.
Glad to see you're back.
Where did I go?
Agos just reaches down and hugs you with his one arm that's not burnt to a crisp. You're with us again. That's what's important.
Can I hug him back? I'm gonna look for my big ass new hammer.
It is there.
All right, I'm gonna give him 2 pats.
There's a goblin wrapped around it.
I'm gonna slowly get to my feet, super unsteadily, and like shake the goblin off of the end of this hammer and just like put it into the ground and then like lean on it, but like slip down the entire half and then fall back down onto the ground.
I reach down and help you up.
There are no more alive goblins.
I come over and pat his head, and I get blood all over it because I'm super injured too. I'm like, you did good.
Shake my bowl cut and little splatters of blood.
I let it just hit my own self with gore. You did good.
Yeah, look how many you killed. You did a great job, and then that one stabbed you twice.
Real quick. Yep. The last thing I remember, I didn't even get to yell like a clever, dying word. I've always thought about what my dying word would be, and I never got to yell it.
What would it be?
Yeah, now's your chance.
Dead. No, I'm not dead, apparently. I don't know. We're in the app. I don't know. This was meant to be. I'm supposed to be here. I was supposed to come back. The fates have willed it. Did I die? Like, can you die if you're in the place where you go when you die?
That's a very interesting metaphysical question, sir, but I don't think that's one that we truly have the answers to. But a cleverer man than me once said, something, yet with stranger eons, even death may die. So perhaps, in fact, it is possible. But it was quite the show, old man. And the elf taps you on the shoulder. Quite the show. That's one I'll be telling my people about when I return home for sure. You feeling all right?
To me?
He was talking to Agos, but Agos is just ignoring him.
Byron's gonna like clasp Agos on both shoulders and look at him and say, I don't really know what you did or what you gave up in order for me to be here again, but thank you. Push him away.
The dryads approach you very cautiously with their bows drawn. The number of them are putting the fires out in the village, and they come up to you and see the damage that you've caused and the dead goblins lying all around. And one of them will say, "Looks like we owe you quite a debt. Thank you very much for lending a hand when you did. If I understand correctly, these goblins chieftain had died of a broken heart, and they thought that they could just come back here and take this person away from the grove. Of course, that's impossible. It's very sad, but it's impossible. I hope you've not come here to take anyone away, because regardless of the great service you have just done us, that's not something we'll be able to allow." Nothing?
Could we speak to
What's wrong?
What?
Everyone's just like,
Plenty's wrong right now.
there's a lot of weird things. Yeah.
is everyone okay? What's going on?
My internet cut out and I was frozen for a minute.
Yeah, right.
It did. What were you saying?
Nothing. I was saying stuff and people were just looking at me.
Oh
Look.
God.
Agos has an arm that's been burned from the hand to, I imagine, like the shoulder or mid bicep, and he's just like, he just had this opportunity to learn so much, which he did from this crystal, and he immediately is just thinking. He's like not even really seeing what's happening at this point. He's thinking about the crystal, how it was used. He's trying to catalog that in his mind so that he can write it down later. This is something he's been searching for his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'll speak to the Dryads. And could we have an audience with the Green Warrior?
You wish to speak to the Green Warrior? Are you here to try and take him away?
I am not here to do any of those things. These companions that I've picked up saw him reach out into their realm.
As far as I know, the Green Warrior is still here. He did receive a visitor recently, but well, you did do us a great service, so perhaps we can at least let you speak with him, if that is what you wish.
I'll look on to the party and
Please.
You
is what we
very
wish.
much.
You seem to be a little bit worse for wear. Perhaps we could take a moment, come to the village. The fires seem to be out. We will see what we can do about your various wounds, and then we will take you to speak to him, if that is agreeable.
The tending to everyone's wounds will be, like bandages and healing potions. But for Adis, it's just going to be a pint of Ben and Jerry's to help with the emotional wounds that she suffered.
A pint of bandages. Yeah. All right. So it is a bit of a weird note to end on, but we have gone over our time already. So we will see next week what happens when you go into the village with the Dryads and into the grove of disprized love to see if the Green Warrior really is there or if he is gone. And after this traumatic and dramatic moment of Byron's defeat in combat and subsequent resuscitation through a great sacrifice by Agos, I would like to say we will take this up again next week. Everyone okay? We're good? All right? Yes?
Yeah.
So such a weird ending. I'm like,
It really was.
Excellent. That was
I'm like, there was like this great moment, and then
Oh.
everything kind of just, it's like people were just like, oh, fuck,
Yeah.
did I leave the oven on?
Internet
Just
connections were like messed up in the worst moments. Like I don't know if Dave, you didn't get the where I like Byron
No.
like grabbed
No,
you and
I was
hugged
there the
you
whole
and
time.
looked
I
at
was
you in
waiting.
the eyes.
No, I was waiting for people to say something. I was like, what the fuck just happened?
the fuck was
was-
going on?
The
Anyways,
afterlife, man. The internet's
Just
weird in the
sour.
afterlife.
it was just so weird. All
It was
right,
intense,
so
man, we broke the
Yeah.
internet.
all right, so let's go quickly around again and reintroduce our people here quickly. We'll start with I don't know who I started with earlier. I'll try to go by the same order so I don't confuse anyone. Beth.
Yeah.
Beth, come on, Beth, you can do it.
Whatever, man.
Beth, what you got?
Okay.
Beth is just messed up by the heartbreak memories there of
I
Help us
know.
out of this hole, Beth. Help us out, please.
This has been fun and not at all.
really
weird.
has it.
I had, I think, an okay time. Remains to be seen though. But yes, I'm Beth. I'm glad I was here for this shit, and and I'll be back next time. You can find me on social media at Beth Masco. Bleak, thank you. This is another fun one.
It's literally the most off the rails session
I know.
ever. I'm like, I think I'm gonna give up my career as a streamer now.
Oh,
Shelly,
no.
Shelly, how you doing, Shelly? Please,
Great.
Shelly,
Feeling great. Normal.
show me
fine.
your plastified map, Shelly. Make me feel a hope again.
Oh no, they're not
damn
done
it.
yet. But they're right here. They're close proximity.
There you go.
So I hope that helps.
It does. It does pour some salve on my wounded heart. Go ahead. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where people can find you. What's going on?
Sure. I'm Shelly, and you can find me on Twitter at The Real Flea Monkey. See what things I do or don't do, I guess. Mostly just draw and do this kind of thing. I'll be here next Thursday for another
Uplifting.
uplifting and a very communicative session.
Totally normal stuff.
Totally, yeah. It's all good.
Join us next week as we mime our way through episode 4.
Yeah, this is off the rails completely.
Yeah, I have no
To
clue
you.
what happened. I have no clue what happened. Thank you, Shelly, for being here and for
Thank you.
trying to make me feel better. Scoos, hey, what's up, man?
Hey, I'm Scoos. I'm Scoozy. You can call me either one. I bring the news. You can find me on Twitter at Scoos News. You can find me at Guild Superior. You can find me here next week. Maybe.
Maybe who knows at this point.
We'll see if Byron has it in him at this point. I'm super excited to have a third character die, basically, like, and then come gasping back to life. And
man.
I'm very
You know.
curious about what Byron experienced in those brief moments.
For
dying
for
in the
for
afterlife.
the record, I was just gonna have you be dead. Like I was like, okay, he's dead.
I was like private messaging Dave when he was trying to rescue me. I was like, no, let me die. I would love to have a character like.
And
I don't know.
like, because the whole thing with the whole thing with the gem and all that was not planned in any way, shape, or form. It was just like, you know, when First Fallen came up with it, and they went to you, and they were still trying. I'm like, oh well, you know, the gem is the gem of Allah, so there's a connection to this place. So yeah, maybe they could do something with it. And I probably should have just, you know, shut up and gone to have a drink. Or something.
Pour one out for Byron.
I'm sitting there going, man, this is pretty brilliant. I'm happy with this. Like, this is a pretty good, you know, on the spot. And then, I don't know, it just fell apart. But, you know, I'm glad you're going to be back next week. So I would have given you a character anyway. So there's tons of dead people in Quit Robin.
No, yeah.
Just
I
pick
can
one.
just play every dead person you all meet for the rest of this.
All right, I'm fine. Let's get this thing. Hey, over here. Hey, Dave, just save us, Dave.
What?
I'm dying. This stream is what's so fucked up.
Dude, that moment landed hard on the stream, on the internet, on the world.
Yeah.
Just kind of disrupted things.
Reverberations.
Yeah.
Dead air.
Look, you know, it was a sacrifice that Agos made to bring his friend back. He didn't want to do it, but he also knows that he needs his friends to make sure he can get out of here. So I like to think, and I don't know how this will all play out, but that he carries a bit of that crystal with him in the burns that he has sustained from his palm to his, shoulder. So I don't know how what will happen there, but dude, fucking great session. That was super fun.
So much fun.
Michael, great to be on screen with you. So I'm excited for that. And yeah, thank you, Bleak, for putting this together. Super fun. Great session.
No problem. And finally, the man who will never come play with us ever again, Insomnia.
Be here as
Don't
often
you wish
as
you were
possible.
sleeping?
No. That's why I'm too busy doing things like this. You know how my channel is. So yeah. I'm Insomnia Night RPG. It's always great to be here. The emotional damage that is created in the events that occur.
You still have the voice, by the way, just so you know.
Oh gosh, yeah. So
let's speak normally for a moment. There we go.
Oh no! Oh no!
I could be a different voice.
That's like revealing that it is not a giant, but in fact 3 halflings and a jack.
Yeah, I'm just 3 kobolds in a suit.
Oh my god!
But yeah, it's always a pleasure to be here. Yeah, Dave, it's great to be here with you on camera again. Oh, for the first time. Snoods and Beth, Shelly, great to meet you.
Good to meet you.
It's great. I hope. If we're gonna continue, I can be back here Thursday.
All right, cool, man. We'll set it up.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by. Did you plug your stream? Did you plug your thing? It popped up in the chat. But yeah, go check out. If you thought this was off the rails, go check out Insomnia's stream. It's gonna be
true. That's very true.
It's at least going to be of a feather. I wish at this point we'd had, Terry Crews dancing across the.
Does Terry Crews even play D&D or Dragonbane?
Oh yeah, he has. He's played D&D actually. Yeah.
Oh right, because he did the yes.
There's celebrity D&D. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, I have lots of weird shit that happens on my channel where you can redeem channel points and he rave dances across the screen.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I know. It's
one of their favorite things. All right, I mean,
it works. If it keeps the people happy. Thank you all so much for hanging out through this weirdness. We appreciate all of you. Normally we'd be raiding into Phoenix. Phoenix is off right now because he's in our chat. Hey, Phoenix, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks to all the people who came and watched. Thanks to Andy, the producer. Thanks to all my players. You're absolutely phenomenal. You're so amazing. It's so much fun. I have, I just love sitting back and watching you guys do your thing. It's a lot of fun. Thank you, Insomnia, for coming by. We're going to raid Darling Creepshow, I do believe, Andy. So stick around. Give Darling some, good old fashioned weird Guild Superior love. And we'll see you next week. See what happens here in Vithaven. Thanks for hanging out. Take care of yourselves. Ciao.
Bye.
Thank you.